Ah, wasn't that a lovely track that we had just heard? That is one of my all-time favorite playlists that, well, you only really get to listen to during 1 month of the year, and thankfully that month is upon us, and that, of course, is the month of Christmas, or as others know it, the holidays, or for other people, they just know it as a time to sit back, relax, drink lots of spiked eggnog, and revel in the lights and the sounds and the screams of children when they, well, when they don't receive dye, but receive presents, of course. I wouldn't know anything about that, for I am not an administrator of dye. I have never done such a thing on Christmas Eve. I have never dressed up as a plump, jolly old man and gone around handing out copious amounts of dye in children's stockings and putting lumps of dye in their stockings. I certainly have never done so, and you can't prove anything, and I plead the fifth. Well, as you can see, I have somewhat spruced up my den a little bit for this time around. You can even see that I've got myself what is known as a Christmas tree. It's a human tradition. I have no idea why they do it. I find it completely absurd, but, well, this year I had a very, very humble and very sort of very gentle request by a very generous soul to tell me to, quote unquote, lighten up. So as you can see, I'm lit. You see, the tree is lit, therefore I am lit. I lit the tree. The tree is lit. Everyone, look, see. The tree is lit. Do you see it? Good. All right, now that we have that fact out of the way, we can begin with the show. Greetings to all of you around the world, young and old, cranky or not. Leave the crankiness to me. My name is Tien Long, and I, of course, am the god of the skies, retired down here on this earth for some reason. I can't remember what right now, but I am here, and this is my Grumpystream. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the Grumpystream, I hold my little show in my den here approximately once every month, and, well, again, you can see that it's a little more cheery this time around. I'm not usually one to celebrate the holidays, but yada yada yada, I said that. But get on with the show, you old fart, if you insist. And you can also see that I'm joined by two guests as well. You can see the first one is taking a seat right above the tree. He insisted that he have the best seat in the house, so I gave him the top spot. You get it? The top spot, and he's on the... Never mind. Anyhow, and of course we have none other than Xiaolong Bao over here. We have Santa Bao. Actually, as you can see, Santa Bao is all ready to go out and dish out all the joy and happiness to all the children. You see, there's Santa Bao. Say hello, Santa Bao. Hello, Santa Bao. All right, thank you. Anyhow. Oh, I forgot. I need to talk to people. I need to put the chat up. Where is the chat? There it is. That's good. Now I can see everyone. It is good to see all of you, and once again, thank you for joining me on the last Grumpystream of this, Grumpystream of this year. This being the year of 2018, and we are soon about to eclipse into the year of 2019. I suppose that means sometime this stream I perhaps will go on a long-winded ramble about how this year was terrible and how everything was terrible and how I did not get anything that I wanted for Christmas because old dragons apparently don't count on Santa's wish list. But I'll try to be as cheery as I can until the sake runs out. Except there's one problem. I don't have any sake. It's already run out. And there's a little voice in the back of my mind hoping that perhaps one of these gifts that's sitting underneath this very tree might have some sake for me. After all, the presents were given by someone who supposedly knows me very well, and, well, again, I promised that I would be a little cheerier for the stream, so I won't go on a complete tirade just yet. I see there's plenty of people already in the stream. I am very, very honored that you would take time out of your busy holiday schedules to join a celestial dragon as he, well, tries to improve upon his grumpy stream and perhaps turn it into a mediocre stream, or a mellow stream. Yes, a mellow stream is what we'll call this. And M.M. Kenny says, I am sure even you travel to see family, Tien Long. Well, I would travel to see family. It's just that it's a little difficult when you've got back pains and family is 10,000 miles away. Of course, I am referring to my big brother, Grumpy Tien Long. He is in Singapore, as many of you know, and he is rather far, and I would dearly love to visit my family, but I'll have to solve that first problem of my back pain first. Of course, I've got other family that dwells in other parts of the world, maybe a little closer. Actually, I will be seeing them next week, in fact. I will be down in North Carolina to see not only Uncle Kage, but I shall also be seeing Grandma Kage as well, and we shall hope to celebrate the holiday season together. So, travel is indeed abound, and perhaps you might see me up here on one of these streams in a very short time after this one. I hope that all of you out there are also enjoying your holiday season, whether it be spending time with your family, getting together with friends, eating copious amounts of foods that you should not eat, or just doing nothing, because that is a whole bunch of what I am doing, and that is a whole bunch of nothing. Sometimes it's good to do a whole bunch of nothing. You don't necessarily need to be going out and doing things. Sometimes it's good to just say, I'm going to take a day off. I'm going to rest and I will recuperate and I will sit back and watch this old dragon talk about things that make absolutely no sense until he falls over. For that, I thank you humbly. And everyone is saying hello, and I say hello everyone. It is good to see you all once again. I don't know, I cannot remember the last time I had this large an audience. Well, again, you all make an old dragon feel young again. Not in that way, but, you know, young enough. Perhaps I should get on with, finding things that I can consume, as is tradition, but, well, there is the matter of the things being under my tree that I dearly wish to know what they are. This is one thing that, as a Celestial, we never really had, which was Christmas, in the sense of waiting, 25 days of the month and watching the boxes or the bags pile under the tree, or even just waiting for some to appear, and then on that fateful morning of the 25th, you would dart out of bed, run to the Christmas tree, and see it overflowing with presents or whatnot. This was never a concept in the world of the Celestials. The world of the Celestials was, you simply woke up, you went about your day, you did things such as, dragon things, eat people, write decrees and argue a lot, and then you went back home. That was our Christmas. But I've received these presents, and I'm just too darn curious to wait to the 25th. It's like a whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 days. An entire 10 days that I would have to wait in order to open these presents, and I don't think I have the patience to. But perhaps I should give it up to the audience to decide. So tell me, if you are out there, should I break the Christmas tradition and perhaps satisfy my curiosity? And before you say curiosity killed the cat, don't. I don't know what I could find. I mean, it's not like there's an overflowing number of presents, but it certainly still tantalizes. It teases at my curiosity. Nustul says, German's better. We open at 24th. Well, Nustul, you know what they say about German efficiency. You know what they say. I don't know what they say. You're the German. I see people saying open them, open something, open them. Nustul called me bad kitty. No, we're not starting that. Might as well curiosity killed the kitty. I'll just say it, kitty. Just because you're all mentioning that, I suppose that I will. I don't know if I even want to at least pan over to the Christmas tree a tiny bit. Let's see if I can adjust the camera so that you can see the Christmas tree a tiny bit better. As you can see, there's a Christmas tree and there's lots of balls. I don't know why humans like playing with balls and hanging up balls everywhere. And there's Ronnie, of course, up there. And there's one bag down here and there's another bag behind it. Those are the two presents that I had received from the mysterious giftee. Tien Long Bao, you're still in the way. You're not supposed to be showing your butt on camera. We've had this conversation. Sit over here. Naughty noodle. All right. Where was I? Oh, yes, presents. Presents. Well, I would like to preface this by saying, number one, that present just fell down, so now its warranty is void. But number two, I would like to preface this by saying that for those of you that perhaps might not enjoy the season of giving or the associations that come with buying presents and giving presents and whatnot, it is about the thought, it is about the meaning behind it that counts, not necessarily the presents itself. And I want to remind everyone that even if you may not receive or even may not give presents, it's simply being there for each other that really makes Christmas what it is at the end of the day. With that, let's see what a mysterious giftie has given to a celestial dragon. So, I shall perhaps start with maybe not the warranty void one. I have no idea what it is. It is shaped very oddly and it just jingled at me. But perhaps we shall start with this one over here. Oh, this one is rather heavy. Oh, goodness. It's in a gold bag with stars in it. I feel like I'm doing one of those toy reviews on YouTube. It's in a bag with gold stars. It looks rather simple, but I'm not one to complain. It's free, and you know what they say about Asians and being free. Well, let me maybe push the camera up a tad bit more. There we are. That's better. And perhaps we shall see what is inside. So what we have here inside. Oh, there's a card. Oh, what a lovely looking card. And this one is from my human pet. This one is one that says Seasons Noodlings, as you can see right there. Seasons Noodlings, special delivery from Santa Noodle. Isn't that just adorable? Oh, my human pet actually does care for me. Well, isn't that just a lovely little card? And I believe that he most likely made it himself. Seasons Noodlings, indeed. As a fellow celestial dragon, I concur. Seasons Noodlings. And what did he write inside? I bought some nice gifts. Treat me nicer, PLS. What does PLS stand for? Is that an acronym for something? Where's my monocle? I shall make a monocle with my hand. Treat me nicer, PLS. Is that like, please leave something? Treat me nicer, please leave something? Signed, my human pet. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I don't know. That's quite a simple message, but... Well, I'll let you see it again. It's the front which counts over here. This is the Seasons Noodlings card that my human pet has made. And apparently my human pet had dressed up as Santa Noodle in order to get it for me. So thank you, human pet, wherever you are. I'm sure you're locked in the closet watching this somewhere. Well, we shall see what the first thing is that I have gotten. Oh, it's in a rather interesting box. It's got penguins, it's got polar bears, it's got funny-looking triangles with balls on them. It's a Christmas tree, that's what it is. Well, whoops. I seem to be destroying my presents before I'm even able to appreciate them. I hope my human pet didn't see that. Whoopsie. Well, let us see what it is inside. Get this wrapping off. Oh. It's rather light. It's not too, it doesn't sound too clunky, but what could we have here? Oh, whoa, notices your present. Wow. Come on, come off you. I don't want to use this beautiful paper, but I will if I must. Ooh. Well, look what we have here. We have the original wine bottle glass. The original wine bottle glass. Can you see that? The original wine bottle glass. And it is a bottle-sized glass, which means it holds an entire bottle inside the single glass. Why, isn't that just perfect for a celestial dragon that does not have any drinking issues whatsoever? Oh, well, I cannot wait to open this whatsoever. I must see this for myself. Oh, come on, you. Open. Oh, come on, open. I give this a very, very bad rating for its ease of use. Now, let us see what this glass looks like. Ooh, ha ha ha. As stated on the box, it is a bottle-sized glass. This will hold an entire bottle just on its own. So you do not have to, muck about with refills or fetching the bottle or asking the waiter for the bottle again or basically, this will do the trick for all of the Grumpy Streams. I will not have to refill as many times as I need to, and even if I do, well, that just means I've finished an entire bottle full. Oh, isn't that just sweet? I can most certainly use this tonight. Well, my human pet, if you are out there, thank you very much. I shall make sure I consider treating you nicer, which will most likely end up as a no. Well, we have one gift over there. I should toss the box and the wrapping over there. Oh, that was a good start. I think we're on a good streak. What other gifts did we have? Oh, we had the one which I dropped. This one's not really wrapped, and I don't think it came with a card or anything. I don't even know who came up with it, but what in the world is this? Is this supposed to be a stand of some sort? Is this a club? Is this a post? What is it? It's fabric covered, and it's got like a rope, and it's got, I don't know what this is. What is it supposed to be doing? It's a pom-pom of some sort, and it just dangles there. It's got a bell on it. It's making sounds. What is this supposed to be? Someone tell me what this is supposed to be. This is not very useful whatsoever. Is this a lamppost? Is this a decoration? Do I sit on this? Do I hit things? I believe this looks like a club. I could probably smack someone on the head, and they would probably listen to me better with this. Well, is there a label on it? Perhaps I should read the label. Let me see. People are saying scratching post for cats. It's a really large chew. It's probably a chair. I don't know if I want to sit on this. It's not a very good chair. Well, if I turned it upside down, perhaps I could use it as a bar stool. Everyone is saying scratching post, scratch pull for kitties, musical instrument, a gift from Boozy. Is that why it came with no card nor sender? Is this from Boozy Badger? Let me read the label. It is a 15-inch scratching post with pom-pom toy for kittens. This most definitely came from Boozy. Boozy, did you send... Boozy, I know that you authorized your young one to use your credit card and buy this, did you? This is not... Do I look like a kitty to you? Do I look like a kitty? Me hitting this pom-pom around? I am no kitty. Do you think that this would really be an effective Christmas gift for me? Do I look like I would be scratching this all day long and imagining your face? Don't answer that. I don't want to be guilty. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I am no kit. This is for the record, by the way. I am not a kitten, and this has absolutely no interest to me whatsoever. Well, I shall put that aside as well, and hopefully I can forget that even happened, considering the fact that, well, I again am not a kitten in any sort of way, shape, or form. And you better not have gotten any screenshots or video clips of that moment just now. I had absolutely no idea what it was, and I was just simply inspecting its quality. Well, let's see what we have left, finally. I don't have that bag anymore, but... Oh, there's something else in this bag. I did not notice. There was something else left in here. Oh, hello, my dear. Oh, hello, my dear. Do you come here often? I bet you do. Oh, and it's... it's nice and cold. Oh, yes. This one is chilled. This one comes pre-chilled. And the shape of it, the stiffness and how robust it is makes me wonder what exactly could be inside. I'm sorry, am I still on camera? Yes, I am. Oh, I forgot. We're in a piece. We're still on the stream. We have not even touched a single drop of alcohol. Well, as you can see, I've got something that is quite tantalizing in my hand. I don't even know what it is, and I'm already excited. I guess that's what the children feel on Christmas, except when they see it's a lump of dye from myself, well... Again, you can't prove anything. So, why am I even talking about this? I should be opening it. Come here, come to long, Dada. Get out of here. What? You can't be serious. I am not going to say anything. I am just going to sulk very, very quietly over here in this corner while you all see what I just received. I will find you, whoever you are, and I will end you very, very quickly, or slowly, whichever one hurts more. You cannot be serious. Somebody got me a bottle of Tate no Kawa cat. Tatenyan sake. A literal cat sake. Someone got me a bottle of kitty sake. You cannot be... Where's the receipt in this bag? Is there a gift receipt? Where's the receipt? I need to find this gift receipt. There's no receipt. There's only these stupid wrapping paper in that card from my human... What? I want to return this. I want to speak with the manager of this establishment. You cannot be serving me this kind of sake. Are you kidding me? This is not the Christmas spirit. This is like a prank right here. This cannot be a serious Christmas gift. Am I on a prank show right now? Is this... You see why I don't celebrate Christmas? It's because every single time I even think about trying to be happy, someone else comes and makes my Christmas Eve, they go out of the way to make my Christmas Eve, or Christmas season in general, a living hell to go through, especially when they find things like this. I did not even know cat sake even existed. Look at that thing. This is not cute whatsoever. You see this? This is not cute. This is not cute, nor is it funny, nor is it representative of my stature. You cannot be serious. I will find you, whoever put this under my tree, and I will very, very slowly end you. Well, it is sake at the very least, which means I have something to drink tonight. But what kind of sake is it? Oh, well, it is a Junmai Daiginjo, and it's a Junmai Daiginjo that was bottled in September of this year. Oh my. Well, perhaps it won't be that bad. I mean, Junmai Daiginjo, bottled in September of this year. Cat. I'm very, very hesitant to try this out, but seeing as I've already opened it and there's nothing else really around to substitute, well, perhaps just for this one evening I shall unwillingly consume cat sake, or what I would probably consider to be kitty piss, but kitty piss sake is the only thing that I've got. I guess it shall have to do, and it is a full bottle size, which means that my full bottle glass should be able to handle this. So, let us see how this performs. A bottled in September Junmai Daiginjo kitty piss sake for Christmas. What an appropriate Christmas drink. I was thinking of having eggnog, but, well, a friend of mine advised me that eggnog messes are not exactly easy to clean up, and, well, we don't want to take any chances, do we? And with my new glass, a glass that finally fits my needs, that I shall be using, we'll see how this turns out. Oh my, that is a lovely color. You cannot, that is a lovely color. That is almost completely transparent. Can you see that? Even just that little liquid, that is almost completely transparent. My. There may be some hope yet. Perhaps I should try just a little bit. Let's see. Let's see how this performs. Swirl it around a little bit, give it a sniff. Smells like 100% authentic kitty. Kitty piss. No, this is not indicative of what I smell like. I'll have you know right now. Alright, let's see how this goes. Actually, I need a little bit more. Let's see. I did not bring a long enough pink straw, which gives me an excuse to just pour more of the bottle inside. So here we are. Oh my. This glass is very handy. By now, with the regular glass, I would have had to stop, but, well, now I don't have to worry about it. I just have to go down the drain. Let's start with that. Let's see how that fares. To all my friends out there, a happy holidays to you wherever you are. I hope you have an enjoyable one, and thank you for being here. Kanpai. Apparently I still need even more. Goodness, I may need to actually get myself a longer straw. Well, again, nothing to do about it other than actually use the damn bottle. All right, time to fill this bad boy up to its brim and suck it all down vigorously. I believe that Uncle Kage has used this type of bottle before, the one that I'm holding, or the glass, rather, that I'm holding. He has used this at your friends and other conventions, and actually I don't know if he has one himself. Perhaps Uncle Kage might find uses for this as well. Oh, goodness gracious, huh? Did I get carried away there? I did not get carried away. I promise I did not get carried away. But my, that is not bad whatsoever. Okay, if this is what kitty piss tastes like, then I will say that kitty piss tastes better than dog piss, and don't ask how I know that. Celestials have secrets that you would rather not know. Well, yes, all those noises I was making just now were not me. Those were the special effects added by the guys in the back room. The back room being my furnace, of course. But, wow. I can most certainly taste that this was bottled in September of this year. And, again, as a quick reminder for those not well versed in sake, the earlier the bottle, the better it tastes. So, meaning if it was bottled in September of 2018, this current year, that most likely means it is of optimal taste, whereas compared to a bottle from 2016, that probably is not the greatest taste. But of course, your tastes may vary. I just know that mine are better than yours. Cheers to all of you once again, and thank you for being here. I really shouldn't be making those noises while I'm drinking kitty piss sake, but, well, I can't help it. The kitty piss actually tastes not too bad. It ain't bad kitty piss. I've had piss that's... never mind. And, of course, for those of you that have been watching this show before, you do know that those noises are, of course, the tasting notes, which are the secret language of all wine connoisseurs, also known as drunks. But we all have the same language when we are drinking wine, and of course those hums and those hms and those moans and groans all indicate different qualities about said wine. In this case, I am just describing what kitty piss tastes like, which if I were to describe it to you, I don't think you'd want any, so I best drink it myself. Well, aside from me drinking kitty piss and, well, doing things like I usually do, which is just talking too much and drinking more sake, what is my audience up to? Let us see what is happening right now. And Altoriu says, Greek isn't here. That's disappointing. Altoriu, if you are talking about Greek Yoshi, well, I have not heard anything from him in terms of joining the stream, but I do hope that he is able to join us later. It is always interesting to see him around, especially when he starts getting all like, oh my goodness, Tien Long senpai, yes, stroke your noodles, yes, do it for the camera. Am I doing it right now? And Angus Lepus says, cheers, last glass of Taikyu here. Angus Lepus is having Taikyu sake as well. Angus Lepus, I do hope you are having at least, at the very minimum, the black bottle, which is the Junmai Ginju. I do not hope that you are having any of the flavored ones, for I have a very, very distinct fear of the flavored Taikyus, and let's just say that those types of sakes were never meant to have cucumber flavor in them. And Wadius the Dragon says, I am not going to play the Tien Long drinking game. Excuse me, Wadius, are you saying that there's a drinking game that has been named after me? I would very much like to know what this drinking game is, because I would rather be involved in drinking than left out. What is this that just popped up? I don't know what it is, but I don't want it. Thank you, computer. And And Crocodile asks, have you ever had a hangover, Tien? Oh, Croc, you would have absolutely no idea. The hangovers of Celestials are legendary. Especially for myself, back when I was up in the skies ruling over the weather, whenever I would have a wicked hangover, you would know, because that would be when the morning looks all gloomy and doomy and the sky kind of just growls at you angrily when you look at it, but it wouldn't rain because, well, when a Celestial, in the morning has to let it back out, that's when you get that flash flood that you get in the morning. I really hope that, and no one has been in those flash floods before. If you have, I'm sorry, but I promise I brush my teeth often. But if you're talking about now that I'm retired down on Earth, well, I've cut down on the drinking, more or less. I cannot confirm nor deny that I've ever had a wicked hangover after one of these streams, especially after copious amounts of sake, and most certainly not when other guests are here that might coerce me to drink a little more than I should. I like to keep things nice and peaceful here, but, well, when others are around and they want to have a good time, who am I to say no? Who else is saying things? People are saying many things, and Undertaker666 Dead says, I am drunk on 100 proof moonshine. Goodness gracious, Undertaker, I really hope that you have, well, at least I hope you've had food, number one, to help you dilute and digest all of that, and number two, I hope that you have a bed nearby and perhaps something for it to come out into should you have too much. I'm not a big fan of moonshine myself. Again, that is the sort of stuff that you that you drink when you really don't care about your own personal health or safety. And that is the only opinion I really have for it. But, well, as long as you're having fun and you're doing it responsibly, then I am all happy for you. And Luca says, happy holidays, Tien Long. Well, happy holidays to you as well, Luca. I hope that you have yourself a joyous one. As you can see from the sort of gifts that I have received, from the cat sake over here to the apparently kitty scratching posts with the pom-pom that apparently kitties love, and I don't whatsoever, I am having a very terrible holiday already, as you can see. The only thing that I can rely on is, well, my Christmas tree over here does not set on fire, and this bottle doesn't run out, although I may have to get an extra long straw. I thought my regular fabulously pink straw would be enough, but it is not fabulous enough for this new wine glass, so I may need to quickly run and fetch one. And Jackal says, so Tien, would you like to get payback on Boozy for all the kitty things? Jackal, would I ever like to get payback on that man for trying to ruin an innocent celestial dragon's Christmas festivities? I just wanted to enjoy Christmas for 1 year. 1 year. Is it too much to ask for a simple old soul such as myself to enjoy Christmas, only to have it ruined by those that would rather disidentify or misidentify myself as a inferior baby nubile thing, and try and remind me of it by sending me such things such as kitty sake and kitty scratching posts? Yes, I would very much like to get payback. How I will get payback, I don't know, but I'll have to study upon my law before I do. And Annalicia Wells says, help me, Tien. I am going to a bar for my first time. Annalicia, first of all, I am very sorry, and second of all, I hope you are not buying, and if you are, well, either way, it doesn't matter. For the advice that I would give you if you are going to a bar for the very first time is do not get the most expensive thing on the bar menu. Most people that go to the bar have this misconception that, the more expensive it is, the better the quality must be. That is absolutely false, and I would not condone it whatsoever, especially because you'll probably not like what you get if you just go by the price. If you don't know what you are into, especially if it's your first time drinking, I would recommend that you start off with something light, especially if you don't know what your limit is. If you don't know, start with something that is a little bit lighter, such as maybe something that is wine-based, not a hard liquor-based, but if you try something that is mixed, such as, perhaps a sangria or a mimosa or something that is not going to send you over the edge unless you're Grandma Kage, then I believe that should be a safe choice. If you're more of a beer person or anything of that category, well, ask the bartender what would be a good option to start with. Any good bartender will give you something that will not send you over the edge. And, well, if you really do want to dive into the deep end, so to say, of the hard liquors, I would not take any sort of thing straight up. I would get a mixed cocktail of any sort that would at least help you balance out the hardness of the liquor. Long story short, if you are going to a bar for the first time and you have absolutely no idea what to do or what to look out for, number one, do not go by the price. The price is an absolute lie. And number two, start out small and work your way up. That will help you also avoid a very big bar tab unless someone else is buying for you, in which case, get one of everything and make sure you send me some. And Onyx Flame says, I heard you're going to Kage's next weekend. If my gift arrives to him in time, there's some tasty... Oh, and I missed that. There's some tasty snacks from the UK for you all to try in there. Hope you enjoy. Well, Onyx Flame, I shall look out for those tasty snacks indeed. I shall be there all the way through Christmas and even Boxing Day, so there's plenty of time for it to arrive, I hope. And if I have the pleasure of tasting those snacks, I shall let you know first thing. And Altoriu says, just don't dive into the deep end on your first visit. Yes, that is exactly what I just said, especially if you, again, have no idea what you are drinking. If you see, someone is having a, shot after shot after shot, it's usually because that person has, number one, been at that bar far too long, and number two, has lost all control of their life, or three, they are a lawyer. Usually you want to start out with something that is lighter and will not send you over the edge, such as a mixed drink that does not have a very high degree of alcohol in it, or again something on the lighter side, such as, a wine mixer or a wine spritzer even, if you so choose. And let me see. Jackal the Circle says, it starts with tuna, lots of bumblebee tuna. Jackal, if this is related to the payback that we were talking about earlier, we'll discuss the bumblebee tuna. Yeah, let us see what else is happening as well. Story short. Oh, my chat is not moving. That is why nothing is being shown. And Undertaker666 says, Tien Long is your real name, Pikachu. I don't know what you're inferring, but I am no lightning mouse. I do control the lightning from time to time, but I am not doing so in the form of a mouse. And those kids these days are playing that stupid game, that new, Smash Super Brawl, whatever, Ultimate, brothers thing, whatever it is. I don't know what they call it, but they're all screaming about it, and I have absolutely no idea what they're on about. And Bruiser Dragonius says, any thoughts on Sonic Fox and him representing us in the Game Awards last week as an esports player of the year? Bruzo, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about in terms of that specific instance, but in terms of Sonic Fox himself as a person, well, Sonic Fox is a young individual who is doing things very successfully in his field. Regardless of his attitude, I think that he has a bright future, and that if he is doing what he loves and is not offending or hurting people by the masses, although perhaps he's said or done something I don't know about, well, I believe that he has every right to do what he is doing. And yes, Alicia, I'm seeing a lot of other tips as well from others. Asking for glasses of water is perfectly fine. Having a designated driver, someone that is with you, is also a very, very good tip as well. Many, many things that I could say, but I do not want to flood the rest of this time that you have with me with just how an old dragon would, approach a bar. You see, for me, I have lots and lots of experience, and I seem to have a little bit of bias when it comes to going to bars. For when I go to bars, well, it's simple. I just buy things or get someone else to buy it for me, and then I wake up the next day in my bed wondering how I got there and who that cute lad is next to me. Next question. And Annalicia says, I wish I could give you a thank you hug. Well, you may have a thank you hug, Annalicia. I just hope that you have yourself a safe time and a fun time. And Mightier777 says, I have been playing the new Spyro lately. It's awesome. Well, mightiest, if I can associate what you're calling Spyro to what all of the other young ones are calling the Daddy Dragon Dating Simulator, well, yes, I heard it's a very fun game, and I heard that again it is full of dragon dads, so to say, and it is a simulator for getting to date them. I don't know if that second part is true, but that is simply the hearsay that I am hearing being said. And apparently some of them have also said that I should have been included in the game as one of those daddy dragons that you can date or simulate or whatever it was. I would respectfully decline being included in any sort of dating simulator, for I am not dateable, I'll have you know. And let us see. What is my all-time favorite food, asks Undertaker. You're looking at it right now. Liquefied rice. Let's have a little bit more. I'm getting to a good point right now, but I will need to actually run and get that extra long straw in just a little bit, but we're still okay for the time being. What else is happening with my audience right now? Cam Long asks, hey Tien Long, what is your thoughts on cloud seeding? Cloud seeding, asks Cam Long. Well, I have to admit, I don't think I am familiar with the term of cloud seeding, or if there's some sort of story behind it, so you'll have to fill me in on that, Cam Long. Celestial dragons such as myself have rather short memory, and, well, I can barely remember what I had for breakfast this morning. I may have had the city of Toronto, I may have had one of the neighboring cities, maybe Mississauga. I can't remember. The breakfast was big and it was Wrigley. That's all I remember what it was. And now all the youngsters are also yelling, Daddy Long, Daddy Tien, Daddy here, Daddy this, Daddy that. I don't know what it is with your obsession with daddies, but I am certainly not one of them, and don't you dare try to put me in any daddy simulators anytime soon. Let's see what else those are saying. Mads5408 says, purring in dragon. Well, that is what dragons do when they are satisfied. They purr and purr and purr, especially if you find a dragon's weak spot. Every dragon has their weak spots, and you will never know what mine is. But if you manage to find a dragon's weak spot and you not stab at it like you do in those video games that you play, but you rather take advantage of it in a more gentle, affectionate way, you'll get a dragon to purr all day long. I mean, after all, it is known that dragons behave like cats 3 days of the week. We don't know which 3 days because, well, it just happens. That does not mean we are cats. There's a very, very key difference, because we only behave, we are not actual cats. Remember that now, because if you call me a cat, I will end you. And let me see. Yeah, my big brother says there needs to be less Daddy Longs and more Chef Longs. Well, big brother, if you are referring to the amount of cooking you and I have done lately, well, perhaps I should fill the young ones in. Speaking of video games, my big brother and I have recently been hooked on a video game known as Overcooked. For those of you that are into, sort of silly little party games or whatnot, you may have heard of this game. It is simply a game where you simulate yourself being in a busy kitchen and making recipes and delivering food and washing plates and throwing things around the kitchen that you probably shouldn't have thrown around. It is a wildly fun game. Even myself, as an old celestial, who does not appreciate any of the youngster culture whatsoever, could not help but be sucked into, this entire world of, crazy environments and changing circumstances and throwing cakes around at my brother and, knocking him off the edge of cliffs and throwing tomatoes at him, asking why the hell the lettuce wasn't chopped and all that sort of stuff. It's a good family bonding game. We got very angry at each other quite often for not chopping the lettuce. So if you ever wonder why I suddenly burst out at my brother asking him why the hell he didn't get me a burger bun, you know why. And Mahogany Pearl asks, Tien, do you have any hatchlings? Well, Mahogany, I am an old dragon, and I am very far, far past my prime in terms of anyone who would want to mate with me, unfortunately. I've tried, believe me. There's no candidates out there that would take me up on my offers. But if you would consider perhaps adopted hatchlings, well, you've seen the two that I have. I've got Ronnie up there. I treat him as one of my hatchlings, especially with how small he is. Look at Ronnie. Look at Ronnie up there on that tree. He's such a small dragon. How could I not take him under my... I was going to say wing. How could I not take him under my tail? That's a terrible example. How could I not take him under my protection and guidance for being such a small dragon in such a large and scary world? And then I have Xiao Long Bao. As you can see, Xiao Long Bao is a bit incapacitated off to the side, but sort of in the same line of thought where, he's a small dragon Bao, and Baos don't really have any way of getting around by themselves. They kind of just sit there and look cute. So unfortunately, someone has to take care of them. So you can say that I've got two adopted hatchlings, and, well, as much as I try to, not like youngsters, I can't help but have grown a little bit fond of them, and, well, they do keep an old dragon company when no one is around. It gets somewhat lonely in a den by yourself, especially when all you do is sit around and look at all the youngsters having fun on my lawn and yelling at them to get off my lawn, but having them around does help quite a bit. It's also in line with the Christmas season as well, being around those that care for you and that you care for. And Undertaker asks, who have you been cooking? Well, Undertaker, I have not been cooking anyone. I have been cooking pixel burgers and pixel cakes and pixel pizzas and pixel pancakes and pixel everything else. Well, it is essentially a game where you cook things and you then throw it away, or you fall off a cliff and die, and you lose the order, which means you lose the tip, which means you lose the game. I have grown many, many more white hairs on my beard from that game alone. It is not exactly inner peace game. Rather is the opposite. It's an outer peace game. And let's see what else those are saying. And Annalicia says, just know, Sir Tien Long, I thank you so much for the tips. Again, Annalicia, you're more than welcome. Just remember to be safe. Tien Long asks Capri, what do you use to keep your noodles in such good condition? Why, Capri, I'll have you know that I use a very, very high quality, locally grown, GMO-free, free-range, fair-sourced, fair-traded conditioner for my noodles. It's a variant of soy sauce. It's called bao sauce. It's very hard to find, but if you have a local market around you and you ask about bao sauce, and they'll give you sort of a shifty left and right look, and then they'll lean in and they'll say, oh, you know about bao sauce? Well, have I got the stuff for you? And then you take that bao sauce and you sort of slick it on your fingers and you do this and you just stroke your noodle. Oh, that feels good. Oh. I'm sorry. Yes, bao sauce. And you just take a little bit and you put it on you put a smatter on your fingers, and you do this on your noodles, and it makes your noodles look pristine. And even as old as I am, as you can see, the bao sauce has helped to keep these lovely whiskers of mine very, very regal and wise looking. Of course, many have asked in the past what use are these whiskers for. Do they add to your wisdom? Do they, have magical powers? And I simply reply, they just make us look good, and occasionally they do actually feel good when you stroke them. They're very important for stroking. It adds +5 to your intellect. Let me see what else is happening. Altorio asks, if you like cooking, you might find some enjoyment in an anime called Shokugeki no Soma. Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if I enjoy cooking so much as I enjoy yelling at my big brother for why he hadn't chopped the lettuce. Big brother, why haven't you chopped the lettuce? But, well, I shall see if I can spare some time for that. Mio Van Mee says, and that is how you give your dragon a proper noodle job. Well, Mio, that is not a proper noodle job. If I were to show you how to give a proper noodle job, I'd have to turn this stream into an adult stream. And I am not doing that, not because I don't want to, but because no one's paying me enough to. Let me see. Mahogany Pearl says, looks like Tien needs a partner. I am far past the prime age for a partner, my dear. I am I'm old, I'm irritable, I have old dragon tendencies. I just simply do not have what it takes for a partner now these days. But I shall continue to enjoy my time here amongst you as I can, and however long you want to tolerate me. And occasionally, well, if someone that wants to take a dragon up on his offer for... Never mind, I won't continue on that thought because it won't happen. I haven't seen Uncle Kagi all stream long, actually, and I believe that he said that he would be here. Perhaps the comments are scrolling by too fast and I haven't seen it yet. And for those of you that are newer to the stream and have been wondering why hasn't Tien Long seen my comments, it's because I've got this wall of comments over here, and every time I start talking and don't stop talking and I look back, the comments have disappeared again. So unfortunately, if I do not respond to your comments right away, do not fear, I am not ignoring you. I just simply need you to post your comment a few more times. Not spam them, please do not spam the comments, but at least, once every while, and I shall hopefully address your comments. And my big brother apparently threw my lettuce back at me. My big brother, I will throw a potato back at you if you so do that again. You'll have to chop the potatoes into fries, and you'll have to deep fry them for me. And Wadia says, a cook-off between Gordon Ramsay and Tien Long, who would win? Wadius, I don't know if that would be so much of a cook-off as it would be a shouting match. Now, you can rephrase that as a shouting match between Gordon Ramsay and Tien Long, who would win? That is a question that I will let the audience answer. So if you were to hear a shouting match between Gordon Ramsay, the kitchen chef from hell, versus myself, Tien Long, the god of the skies, who would win? I shall let you answer that yourself. Cam Long says, cloud seeding is humans dispersing a chemical in the air to force the formation of clouds and or rain. Cloud seeding is humans apparently trying to make clouds so that rain falls, and if that person that is now up in charge of these skies, whoever that I gave my position to when I retired, if they know what they're doing, they would just simply flick that back at the humans. Whatever it is that the chemicals are doing to the clouds, they would just simply send a little breeze and blow it back down to the humans, because we don't want your garbage up in our skies. Those are our skies, thank you very much. You're lucky that we let planes go into the skies in the first place. Let me see. Savvy Wolf says, Tien Long, what is Boxing Day? It is a day where you go out and put things into boxes. That is what Boxing Day is, end of story. Crocodile asks, Tien, did you ever audition for the Never-Ending Story or Game of Thrones or anything else? Well, Croc, I don't believe I've ever auditioned for any of those things. I have actually thought about doing something on the lines of maybe voice acting, although I don't know what voice I could do other than my own. That being said, I have not had the thought of doing such a thing. After all, that requires me to get up and out of my den and go, do work. And when I'm retired, that's the last thing that I feel like doing. Well, there perhaps are a few shows or media things that I could get involved into. I'm not quite sure what, but perhaps we shall have a conversation about that later. Mio Van Me says, I bet it would be the never-ending kitty. Mio Van Me, you're about almost as done as this bottle of wine. That's not a good thing for you, by the way. And speaking of that bottle of wine, I should probably enjoy a little bit more of it so I can have that comparison a little more accurate, because there's still quite a bit of it left. Cheers to you all out there. Oh, goodness gracious. This is a delectable bottle of kitty piss. Oh, you heard it here first, folks. This kitty piss is absolutely delightful. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. I'm going to have to get myself some more kitty piss after. Moving right along now. And Ivo215 says it can be an inert chemical, simple dust will do. Anything that will start the nucleation of water droplets will do. We don't like any of your inert chemicals or your overt chemicals or whatever vert chemicals that you want to put up in the skies. Again, us, if whoever's up there is doing a good enough job, then they will simply push that back down to you earthlings because we don't want it. However, if they're falling asleep and they're not being dutiful, as they more than often are, then you'll probably get your clouds formated or whatever it is that you want with the clouds. You humans have weird perceptions about these celestial things. After all, you thought we were kitties and you thought that clouds could be seeded. Let me see. Artodio says, too bad they never did an English dub of the animation Achoo. You would be pretty good for it. Artodio, you are referring to that adorable animation known as Achoo. Which, if those of you have not seen, you can search it up on YouTube, and it is a French animation of a tiny little dragon, a noodle dragon, in fact, a small, S-M-O-L, a small noodle dragon, and he has a bit of an issue with her runny nose and a bit of a sneeze issue. And he's bullied by these two big, strong, handsome, chest flexing and bulging out. Am I doing that on camera? Yes, I am. Dragons that are, these really big brutes, but they're good at breathing fire and making fireworks happen, or fire formations happen, and then at the very end, well, I'll let you watch the video yourself if you haven't. My big brother says that's really good kitty sake, turns dragon into kitties. Now, big brother, you better watch yourself as well before I throw that potato at you again and make you chop up more fries. Undertaker says, I would love to give Tien Long some of my homemade wine. Well, Undertaker, I don't know how I shall respond to such wine, but I am not one to turn down a generous offering, and if you see me at a convention next year, I would be more than happy to accept. Speaking of conventions next year, there are quite a few that I plan to be at. 2019 is looking particularly busy for this dragon, but we shall hope that I can see as many of you as I possibly can. And I believe in order, in 2019, the conventions that I shall be attending are Further Confusion in January, First Squared in February, Fernal Equinox in March, Motor City FurCon in May. There's a bit of a gap in Motor City FurCon in April, a bit of a gap in May and June, but July there's Anthrocon, there's hopefully IFC Indie FurCon in August, hopefully Eurofurence as well in August next year. There's perhaps ACFI, Alamo City Furry Invasion in October, and Midwest Fur Fest in December. So there's a few to be considered or to be determined in that list, but still a fair amount of conventions and a fair amount of opportunities where you may be able to see me. And Caprice says that Achoo was shown at Eurofurence. That is correct. Achoo was shown at Eurofurence. I believe it was, they were doing it during the opening ceremonies. Was it when they were waiting for the show to start? Or somewhere in that time. It may have been the opening ceremonies, it may have been closing ceremonies, one of those long events that, the waiting time is longer than the actual event time. But, well, it's Eurofurence. They like to maximize the efficiency and make sure everything is absolutely perfect before they start. And if you want stories about how efficient they are and how perfect they must be, well, you can tune into Uncle Kage's wine stream next week, which I shall be on, and ask then. You'll hear quite a few stories about our Eurofurence experiences. And let us see. Ivo215 says, I've decided to let the clouds be for the time being. Well, it's very greatly appreciated, Ivo. Again, we don't really like human beings messing with our clouds, especially when, again, hopefully the Long in charge of it has worked so hard to keep it as it is, and he's actually made it quite warm now in Canada for this time of year. I'm not complaining whatsoever. I do like warmer climates. It means that I don't have to hide inside my den and bundle up in, all these sheets and, blankets and whatnot just to keep myself warm. Jerry Husky asks, do you chop sushi? Well, Jerry Husky, I'll have you know that indeed we chop the sushi as well. One of these days, one of these streams, in fact, I might just host a stream where I just, chop things for the entertainment of the audience. And I don't know if you will like it or not, but, well, at this point, I'm more than willing to show you how I do chopping in my spare time. And of course, the overcooked notion of chopping is literally just run around with a, little peanut-shaped character, and you just, start chopping things incessantly, and you probably just, throw the chopped ingredients on the floor afterwards, because that is certainly sanitary, and then afterwards you picked up the dropped food and you put it on a plate and make it into sushi. And then you serve the sushi out into the guests, and then you get a huge tip for it because you did it in a record amount of time. Thinking of that, it somewhat makes me concerned about the quality of some restaurants that are out there that, may not have the best ratings for health quality or food quality or sanitation. And, just thinking about it in the kitchen where maybe like a piece of sushi has been dropped on the ground and they believe in the 3-second rule and they just pick it up and reuse it. And I'm not going to dwell on that thought. Considering the lovely lunch that I had earlier, I'm not going to dwell on that, and I shall have more of this to help me forget. Cheers to you all. Oh, goodness gracious. Let us see what else is happening. And Jax the Lothal Wolf says, I'm going to EF next year. I am very happy to hear it. Jax, EF is an absolute experience in the best way possible. I have been to EF twice now, and I can safely say that the first time impressed me absolutely beyond my expectations, and the second time even more so. It's rare for a convention to do that, believe it or not. Usually the conventions that you go to, or at least that I go to, the big wow moment is usually in the first year where, you're dazzled by all the lights and the sounds and the fursuits and all the things happening and all the things not happening. But this year at Eurofurence, there was just even more of that. And being prepared, knowing what everything was, just made that experience even better this time around. The only thing that I would have said slightly ruined the experience was the fact that the air conditioning in the Estral Hotel broke on, I believe it was Friday, and everyone that was at Eurofurence felt it on Friday when it felt like it was a positively 30-degree greenhouse in that lobby of the Estral, and you were just sweating standing there, even in the shade, and there was absolutely no relief whatsoever other than the fursuit lounge if you're a fursuiter. But well, the funny thing was that it was not the air conditioning just broke down. Anything could have happened if it broke down. The air conditioning caught on fire. That is the real kicker. The air conditioning, of all things, the air conditioning which is supposed to keep us cool was the one that was too hot and caught on fire. And so, unfortunately, it rendered the entire Estral Hotel into a greenhouse for the rest of that day. I'm sure that some of you down in warmer parts like California would know what that feels like on a daily basis. But in Eurofurence, I would say that that was probably the only hiccup that I felt, well, perhaps other than the waiting times for some of the shows in the grand ballroom. But it's Eurofurence. They want to make sure everything is perfect. And let me see what else is happening over here. Altorius says, I doubt I will ever make it to any international con. I suck at budgeting my money. Altorius, it is not as difficult as perhaps it may sound, even if you suck at budgeting your money. All you need to do is create a plan and stick to it. If you want to go to an international convention, you have to figure out how much you need, and you have to finger out. Why did I say finger out? Was that a Freudian slip? I believe it was a Freudian slip. I am not thinking about fingering out things. I want to figure out things. You must figure out when and how you want to accomplish that. When in terms of perhaps in 1 year's time or 2 years' time, and how is perhaps, do you want to put aside savings every month, every week? Do you want to perhaps wait until you have a certain amount of paychecks and then you don't touch those paychecks, you put it into that account or that budget and you wait until you've reached that? It is not as difficult as it may seem, even if you suck at budgeting. You just need to have a little bit of self-control and perhaps a little bit of guidance, perhaps from a family member or a friend that may be able to help you with such. For the record, I did not say fingering out. More wine is needed. Cheers to you all. I was not fingering out things. What I'm wondering right now, however, is, well, number one is I am almost at the point where I need to get the longest straw because my current fabulously pink straw is not fabulous enough for this bottle, or for this glass, this bottle-sized glass, that is. And number two, it is, well, we have eclipsed the 1 hour mark, which means that perhaps I could get started on the drawings. Now, for those that are patrons of mine, if you are subscribed to me on Patreon and donating a certain level, you do get drawings every month. And I have my list that I have prepared for all those patrons, which I do thank you very kindly for. And perhaps I can start them soon just to get them out of the way so that we can continue on with all of the nonsense that I keep on spouting from my muzzle. But at the same time, I don't want to ignore any of the questions coming in from the audience. I want to make sure that everyone is heard and that everyone gets a response that they are so deserving of, especially because you're here with me tonight. Oh my goodness, Indigo Ryu just reminded me of something as well. The elevators in Tower, what was it, Tower 2, Tower 1? Oh my goodness. I don't remember exactly which tower it was at Eurofurence, but there was one tower that was perpetually broken in terms of the elevators. They just did not work the entire convention. If you thought Anthrocon was bad because of the elevator lineup, you have clearly never stayed at that tower at Eurofurence. Was it Tower 2 or Tower 4? I cannot remember which it was right now at Eurofurence, but essentially those elevators were completely out of service for the entire time. And now that I think about it, another hiccup that I did have was I was trapped in an elevator that was not properly landed. So, if you have an elevator and you take it down to a floor and you land here, the elevator knows that it has landed properly and the doors open and you all get out and I get in and I shove everyone else out. But I was on an elevator that was not even properly landed. We sort of had about 2 inches from, the actual landing, and the elevator sensed this and would not budge open, and we had to sit there for a good 10-15 minutes in the soaking hot elevator, basking in one guy's muskiness, which was absolutely filthy. And then, we had to wait for the hotel manager to come and pry the door open, and there was a bunch of big hefty men yes, eins fine. And afterwards we were finally let out and they shut that elevator down as well. For some ungodly reason this year at Eurofurence, the elevators just seemed completely unprepared for a crowd that they have serviced for several years now. It sort of boggled my mind how that happened. And Indigo Ryu says Tower 4 it was. Yes, Tower 4. Oh goodness, Tower 4. There was even a Twitter account, if I recall correctly. There's a Twitter account that is made for Eurofurence elevators. I forgot what the Twitter handle was, but essentially it would be active during Eurofurence, and it would just post when the elevators were down and just make fun of Eurofurence's elevator crises, and I felt bad, but at the same time, it was kind of called for when, the elevators were constantly down every single day. Let's see. Zack the Bomberman says, Tien, wait, this isn't Kage. This is not Kage. I don't think this is Kage. This is Tien Long. No, this is Tien Long. This is not the Krusty Krab. This is Tien Long. Those of you that spend too much time on the internet would get that reference. Ah, yes, Mio Van Me put it out there. Estral Elevator is the Twitter account. That is the Twitter account that essentially reports all of the the shortcomings and the tragedies that happen to the Estral elevators, unfortunately. That is an account that I really only pay attention to when I am in Berlin, for good reason, of course. But it just makes me all the more happy that I am not in Tower 4, and that is no invitation for the Eurofern staff, if they are listening in somehow, to be putting me in elevator or Tower 4. I like being able to get to my events on time, thank you very much. And let me see what else others are saying as well. Jax the Lothar Wolf says, if I'm able to go, I'm saving money right now, but so many damn bills to pay. Unfortunately, Jax, it is a reality that many youngsters face. Again, a simple plan, as long as one, it is sound, and two, it is verified by someone with financial sense. A simple plan is all that it takes in order to get yourself back on the straight and narrow, and towards the goals that you may have, such as saving up for a vacation. Believe me when I say that most people are unable to save, or they are unable to meet their goals simply because they are unable to see what kind of pitfalls or what kind of, I don't want to say it badly, but what kind of unnecessary things that they are spending their time or money into. Let us see. And Mighty 777 gets it. Yes, this is not the Krusty Krab, this is Patrick. Let us see what else is happening. And Capri says, no, Yakisoba, that is the fake one. Apparently, is there a fake Estral Eurofern's account? Or Estral Elevator account? Are there more than one Estral Elevator accounts? Is there that many elevator incidents at Eurofern's that you require more than one account? Goodness gracious. I thought Germany was supposed to be about efficiency and perfection, not all this, we're going to break the elevators to the point where we need Twitter accounts to be reporting this elevator news. Goodness gracious. I like the fact I don't have to refill my glass constantly. This is exceedingly handy. If only I had one that was like a wide lip with a spout that I could shove into my muzzle and just gulp down. You children would like that, wouldn't you? Bah! You and your naughty minds. Yeah. Yeah. I think some of that hairball from that kitten got into that kitty piss just now. Excuse me a moment. Yes, that's certainly from that kitten just now. I don't know where this kitten, or where they got this kitten piss from, but they put in more than the kitten, that's for sure. Ooh, goodness, that is not exactly enjoyable, so that already gives it a half-star down. And my big brother says it right, furries are just too much for elevators to handle, whether it's Anthrocon or Eurofurence or any other major convention, really. The elevators are never ever prepared. I mean, I'm somewhat surprised that at this point, seeing the type of professionals we have in the furry fandom, that we don't have our own, elevator company. Furry elevators where they provide, one-stop shop services, at least for the programming part or even maintenance for elevators around the world at any venue whatsoever. I mean, again, we have in the furry fandom, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have aerospace engineers, we have scientists, we have drunks, we have, artists, we've got all these sorts of people, a whole variety, a canvas full of different professions, and yet we don't have our own elevator service company at this point. I'm pretty sure we could find at least a few furry professionals that are in that industry of engineering for elevators and whatnot, and at least have them as a standby or a consultancy service for furry conventions whenever they need their venues to upgrade to accommodate our needs. Let's see. Mio Van Me says, sadly the Twitter account started as a joke, and Elevator is mourning about all these spelling furries, but turned into an emergency outlet when things go south. Well, I mean, it is sort of a double usage sort of case where you can make fun of the elevators as much as you want, but at the same time, you can use it for other handy things as well. After all, there's no rule that says that a parody account has to stay a parody account. And Alicia Well says, I am saving my money for a fursuit, which includes a head, hands, tail, and feet paws. Well, and Alicia, that is a very admirable pursuit, and I do wish you the best in meeting your goals there. Capri says, we need a hotel without elevators. Well, Capri, isn't that a grand thought? A hotel without elevators, which means that for those unlucky enough to get a room all the way at the ends of the hotel, it would almost be akin to the old hallway con that was MFF 2008 and 2009, and I think 2010, if I'm not mistaken, but basically the convention that was literally one long hallway, and the bright idea of whoever it was that planned out that convention to put the fursuit lounge all the way at the end of the 1 mile long hallway. So imagine any fursuiter who is dying of heat stroke and just simply needs to sit down with a fan in front of them, having to do a marathon in order to get there. And by the time they do, they're probably on on one of those, ambulance, party wagon, gurneys, and being whisked out of the hotel because they could not make that 1 mile hike, the poor soul. Let us see what else is happening right now. Mio Van Me says, I bet we have elevator tech guys, but the hotels have long-time contracts with local firms, not us. Which is very true, and unfortunately it is something that is unavoidable when it comes to hotel contracts and who they deal with, especially because, well, those hotels are very, 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 very picky on who they trust. They're not going to trust some young upstart furry elevator company that, builds the best elevator system in the world, and, it's like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory glass elevator that breaks out of the roof and takes you off into Narnia or something like that. But they would not trust such a thing, because they look at that and they say, well, we don't want to go to Narnia. We want to go to the, to the 15th floor. And you guys are trying to, rocket propel your elevator so it goes to the 50th floor, even though the hotel doesn't have a 50th floor. And what does my big brother say? We can hold a convention at the Boeing Airbus assembly plant. Well, I mean, there is a new Boeing plane. There's one of those big Airbus planes that apparently can hold up to 500 people or so. I don't remember what the numbers are, but I've heard this from a friend of a friend. And that friend of a friend works at Airbus, and there's a new plane in design right now that could pretty much hold a small convention, including, a main events ballroom and a dealer's den and an artist's alley. So perhaps that might be the next thing, is having a convention in the skies. Could you all imagine that? Let's think about that for a moment. A convention in the skies. You are paying a premium price, an air ticket for an experience of a lifetime, one that you would never get anywhere else. You get to fly at 35,000 feet high into the sky, amongst the clouds, the same clouds which Celestials play and frolic in, having the party of a lifetime, going oons, 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 and having a dealer's den, and having an artist's alley, and even having a main panel space that you can go into. And then when you're tired, you return to your seat, and you have absolutely no comfort whatsoever as you sit there and try to take a nap because everyone else around you is too busy socializing. Isn't that just a grand idea? And Onyx Flame 123 says, Tien Long, please may I have a hug. All right, Onyx Flame, you may have a hug. There's your hug. That's all you're getting. Thank you very kindly. I shall make sure I hug you again when I have those treats. Ah. Flame Sulis says, actually, writing a smart elevator system was my programming final exams and ... It worked well, but somehow always ended up with one person stuck on it at the end of the simulation. I guess that one person is probably, the one guy that's taking the elevator up in order to go down, or taking the elevator down to go up, and the elevator is smart enough to know that that guy's a jerk off and leaves him on the elevator so he can never get to where he's going until he gets off, the darn prick. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? Alright, at this point, I am going to very, very quickly go and hunt for a longer straw that I can use for this, and after that I shall return and we can perhaps get started with the drawings, because, well, I've had a good amount of this so far, but not quite enough, so I will quickly hunt for a longer straw, and then when I return, we shall continue with the chat a little bit and the Grumpystream patron drawings. So, we shall have a bit of an intermission right now for, let's say, 5 minutes or so, and we shall be right back. Let me see if I can find my elevator music, wherever I put it. That is not elevator music, that is Chinese music. That is not Chinese music, that is what, I don't know what music this is. This is, there it is. Alright, we shall have elevator music right about now. Alright, and we are back now. Sorry about that little intermission. I just had to make sure that again I got myself a suitably long straw, and also I have the list of my, what is it? My list of drawings that I have for all of my patrons that have submitted them for this month of December. And once again, as a polite reminder, for those of you that do enjoy my show and feel like helping a dragon, perhaps keep it running for as long as you can and adding a little interesting things to it from time to time, such as a Christmas tree over here, for example, or other festive decorations, or even special guests for that matter. You may become a patron at my Patreon. You can find it in the link below on my little description for this live stream, and I do appreciate every bit of support that I can get, even if it is just simply being here and enjoying my droning voice as I talk about things that I probably do not want to talk about while sober. That is why I have my kitty piss. With that being said, though, I think it is about time that we start some of the Patreon drawings for the month of December. So again, I've got my list somewhere around here. It is handy somewhere. I shall try to find it over here. Let's see where it is. That's the epic Christmas music from before. The absolutely lovely Christmas music that you had as the introduction of the stream. Here we are. We have our list of Patreon drawings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and turn my monitor as best as I can. There we are. You're not looking at my crotch, are you? Good. You better not be looking at my crotch. There we are. All right. We're going to turn that as best as we can towards the drawing table. And now we are going to switch to the drawing camera now. So you'll have to excuse me one moment as I switch to the drawing camera. There's going to be a bit of a beep or a little bit of a pause, so just bear with me. There we are. We should be back on the drawing camera. For those of you that are still with us, we are now at the drawing phase of this live stream. And again, that drawing phase is when my patrons of a certain grade or above, every single month they get a request for me to draw them something, which hopefully is funny enough or at least related to the theme of the stream. So in this case, because of course we are in the month of December, meaning that we are at a festive time of the year, hopefully they have given me ideas that resonate with that sentiment. Without further ado, it looks like the camera's a little crooked, so let me fix that as best as I can. There we are. Let's see a little bit more. There we are. That seems to do the trick. All right. So we shall start at the top of the list of my patrons. And again, for all of my patrons out there, regardless of who you are, nor the level which you are donating, I thank you with all of my humbleness and humility. All right. Again, without further ado, we shall start with the Patreon drawings, starting with none other than Altoriu. Altoriu from Australia. Altoriu would like, for this month, as well as capitalize on the whole Christmas thing, so for this stream, can I get a pic of myself along with both of you Long brothers helping to decorate a Christmas tree? Well, I think I can do that certainly for you, Altoriu. All right, well, first of all, I don't want to be knocking over the Christmas tree that I've got sitting behind me. I'm going to have to try and adjust myself somehow, so let's see. Perhaps I can move my chair this way. All right. Let's see if that works. I don't know if this is working, if you can see the paper over there, but we shall give this a go. All right. Which pen is this? This is the big one. Good. Altoriu, helping to decorate a Christmas tree with the Long brothers. All right. Actually, I'll turn the chair that way. There we are. Much better. So we've got Altoriu. Altoriu, of course, is a dragon over here. Altoriu is also a fellow noodle dragon. There we are. He's got these nice big horns that curve and sweep all the way to the back. And he's got his little bubble hands, and we've got perhaps a little ornament over here. There we are, we have our Toryu. On this side over here, perhaps we shall have my big brother. There we are. And big brother on this side should also have an ornament over here. Perhaps he's got like perhaps my big brother has like a snowflake or something. And we have this peanut body over here. There we are. And last but not least, we have myself. Where shall I put myself in this picture? Perhaps I should be... Perhaps I shall be over here behind my big brother. And I am enjoying the sake that he left unguarded because he was busy decorating the tree and not doing the important thing, which is drinking the sake. You see, even amongst celestial brothers, we have our priorities, and mine, well, you can clearly see mine right now. There we are, and of course we have to have the Christmas tree. It's kind of a tree that has a bit of needs a bit of a hairdo right now, but well, we can address that later. We have the star at the top of the tree, of course. The star looks all happy because it's at the top of the tree. There we are. And we'll have some more balls already on the tree, and perhaps some, like, you know, tinsel or whatever it is that they call it. There we are. We have Altoriu decorating a Christmas tree with my big brother and myself. This is for Altoriu. There we are, Altoriu. There we are. Thank you very kindly, Altoriu. I very much appreciate your generosity. Alright, shall leave this over at the side. Right around over there. There we are. Alright, next up we have none other than Silent Dawn. Silent Dawn would like a doodle a wintry festive Snoopy flying as the Red Baron, but more tigerish. Alright, that is quite a specific request. I don't know if I can do a festive Christmas theme with Snoopy as the Red Baron looking more tigerish. I may actually have to look this one up, but I shall quickly check to see that at least I can see the paper. Alright, where's my... There it is. Alright, the Red Baron? Alright, you'll have to forgive me for this one. I will have to actually look this up to make sure that I have a bit more of reference first. First, I'll set that there. That is my wine glass that I shall need in a moment. Alright, let's search the web. See, Snoopy Red Baron. Just so I have an accurate reference. Let us see what this looks like. Alright. Snoopy as the Red Baron. Oh, I see a rather interesting... Okay, I see a rather interesting picture of Snoopy as the Red Baron, and I think I can work with this. Alright, before I do, cheers to all of you out there. Oh my goodness, huh? Like with all good sakes, it gets better the more you drink it. Alright, where were we again? Yes, Snoopy flying as the Red Baron, but a little more tigerish. Alright, I think I can manage something similar to what I'm seeing on my screen right now. Here we go. We have a pair of goggles over here. Goggles that are like, all like, yes, look at me, I'm goggly, yeah. There we are. And we've got Silent Dawn, of course, being a tiger. And the tiger, of course, has its whiskers. There we go. Has to have a couple stripes over here, perhaps. There we are. And we're gonna have to give the tiger its helmet because we don't want the tiger to get hurt on its epic quest to not crash this helicopter. There we are. And Silent Dawn is gonna be like, yeah, look at me. I am this Red Baron fellow. I am flying on this helicopter thing and you can't stop me. There we are. A little bit of floof over there. And of course we have to give the tiger a stripy tail. There we are. And we have its helicopter, which is more like the cardboard box which the tiger found and decided to sit on the box because, as all of you know, if I fits, I sits. And this side is up. There we are. We have Silent Dawn as the Red Baron from Snoopy, except a little more tigerish. Perhaps he's like grrr. There we are. We have Silent Dawn as the Red Baron right there. For Silent Dawn. Thank you very kindly, Silent Dawn. Alright, I'll leave that over here once more. And next up we have Silver Gatomon. Silver Gatomon, it's good to see you again. Silver Gatomon. Let me quickly go back to my drawing list over here. Silver Gatomon would like a drawing of Zeke Hyena trying and failing to not chew on the award after winning the dance comp at MFF. Oh, well, what an interesting thing that you would request, Silver Gatomon, for Zeke Hyena did win his award at Midwest Fur Fest, did he not? For those of you that do not know, Zeke Hyena, who may or may not have sabotaged this stream in the past, was at Midwest Fur Fest this past 2 weeks ago, and he actually won the dance competition there, which is quite a feat to pull off. Not an easy one, mind you. After all, the talent at Midwest Fur Fest is of the utmost excellence, and he somehow managed to pull it off, which I am very happy that he did. But Silver Gatomon would like a drawing of Zeke Hyena trying and failing not to chew on the award that he received after winning it at MFF. We shall see what we can do. So we've got Zeke's nose. Perhaps we have Zeke over here. There we are. Hyenas kind of have rounded ears, somewhat. I could probably just draw Haida and it looks the exact same. There we are. We have his hair. Zeke is a bit of a scruffy looking fellow, but I mean he's a hyena. It sort of comes with the territory. And he's all like looking all nervous and perhaps even sweating a bit because he doesn't want to chew the award, but he will anyways. Perhaps he's blushing. Now he really does look like Haida. And there's his award from MFF. We can write something like MFF and first. There we are. That signifies that's his award. So he's not really chewing on it, he's more nibbling on it, but I mean same deal for a hyena, really. There we are. And perhaps a little more colored up here as he has black hair. There we are. We have Zeke Hyena trying and failing not to chew on his award. Perhaps I should add a little bit more. Add perhaps the stage at MFF, which was where he was. Perhaps like one of those infernal loudspeakers there. There we are. And like, you know, this is all the cameras over here are flashing and going like, ooh, ah, he's chewing on his award, how cute. So we have ooh and ah. There we are. That is Zeke Hyena at Midwest Fur Fest 2018, trying and failing not to chew on his award after he won the dance competition. Thank you very much, Silver Gatomon, for SGM. Thank you very kindly, Silver Gatomon. Much appreciated indeed. All right. Next up on the list, we have Trottle Bear. Hello, Trottle Bear. It's good to see you again. Trottle Bear would like, for their drawing this month, please draw a Trottle Bear, yourself and Uncle Kage, groggy and grumpy, as the fire alarms blare at our hotel. Oh goodness, I can see where this is going. At our hotel at Anthrocon, Uncle Kage will be wielding an axe as he is on the hunt for the perpetrator who pulled the alarm 2 nights in a row that weekend. Trottle Bear, this sounds oddly specific, as if this actually happened, and I'm not sure if Uncle Kage is watching this stream, but I'd rather not give him flashbacks nor ideas about what to do if this happens in next year's convention. Well, you did pay for it, so I can't really say no. Alright, well, in this case... well, let me just turn this paper around. There we are. Turn this paper around. Take a swig of this. Cheers to you all again. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. All right. So, we have first. I shall draw perhaps myself. And we are very groggy because, well, we are most likely asleep when the fire alarm was pulled, which thankfully has not happened in recent memory, which is a good thing for both myself and Uncle Kage, And whoever may have thought about pulling it, because you don't want to at Anthrocon, let me just tell you, it won't just be Uncle Kage who will be after you. There we are. That's myself, Tien Long. There we are. Alright, now we have Trottle Bear. Trottle Bear is not really in any other, or not in great condition either. Trottle Bear looks rather peeved about this situation. Like, dude, you just woke up a bear. Have you not seen the Revenant? Dude, you just messed with the bear. The bear is going to, like, give you so much dye, that dye won't even be able to describe how much you died. And usually I draw Trottle Bear with a shirt, but, well, we just woke up, so perhaps Trottle Bear doesn't have a shirt on. Alright, and last but not least, we have, oh, perhaps I should give myself a tail. Might be important. There we are. And last but not least, we have Uncle Kage, and he is in full "who did this, I will end your life" mode right now. There we are. And Uncle Kage has himself a nice, big, double-headed Viking axe, which he keeps in his bedroom at Anthrocon. Don't ask me how I know. Just for this very moment. And he also has his lab coat on because he sleeps with his lab coat. Don't ask me how I know that as well. And put on his tie so he can kill someone in style. And perhaps over here we have the Westin Hotel in the background. Westin Hotel. And the fire alarm is like wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. And he is saying DAFUQ. There we are. We have a actual recap of a definitely not realistic scene of myself, Trottle Bear, and Uncle Kage when someone pulls the fire alarm at Anthrocon 2 nights in a row. This is for Trottle. There we are. Thank you very kindly, Trottle. Let's hope that this is not an actual, foretelling of next year's Anthrocon. Let's pray to goodness that's not what's going to happen. There we are. Alright, next up, who do we have? Next up we have Volt Ashcore. Volt Ashcore would like for me to draw Tien enjoying drinks by a Christmas tree with Volt and Ching. But while Volt is cheerful due to the season, and maybe Ching is cheerful as well, Tien makes it known that he is only happy because there are drinks available and not because it is Christmas. Well, I like the attention to detail and reality. I mean, that is pretty much what I would be cheery for. Anyhow, oh, did I just knock over an ornament? I almost did. No matter, we can make this work. We have Volt Ashcore over here. Volt is also a dragon. And Volt over here has his drink. We shall have like a pint of something. There we are. is Volt. We have my big brother right beside him. There we are. I can't help but have that first song, the O Tannenbaum, in my head from that Christmas playlist that I had in the beginning, and that song is just absolutely wonderful. That O Tannenbaum epic chorale is just something else. I wish I could listen to that all year round, but I should not if it's not Christmas. It feels weird. There we are. 1, 2, 3. This is somewhat similar to Altoriu's request about, all three of us being around a Christmas tree and Tien is doing something. Well, he didn't really specify I was drinking, but I thought I would make that detail clear. This time, on the other hand, I get to give myself a little bit of sort of party pooperness. Not too much party pooperness, hopefully. There we are. All right, and this is me saying that I like the free drinks. There we are. Just that. There we are. There we have Volt Ashcore, my big brother, and myself enjoying the drinks of Christmas, and not really so much the theme around it, which of course is Christmas. Alright, that is 4. There we are. 4 Volt. There we are. That is 4 Volt Ashcore. Thank you very kindly, Volt. Alright. Let us see what our next drawing is. This next drawing is from Varius Marshall. Hello, Varius. Varius Marshall would like me to draw for this stream. I decide what to draw. Oh, well, how about that? Varius Marshall wants me to draw what I would like to draw on this stream, and I think I know exactly what I want to draw. This is more of a message than a drawing, but I have had this since this stream began. There we are. This is again a message as well as a drawing. As you can see, I am not looking too surplused right now, because I am about to say once and for all that I am not, underscore many times, a kitty. Many exclamation marks to follow. There we are. That is exactly what I have elected to draw because it seems that some of you have not gotten this idea into your thick skulls, and I would very much prefer that you do. There, that is your drawing. Thank you very kindly, Wadius Marshall. For Wadius. Thank you very kindly for allowing me that opportunity to draw that and also speak to my audience members. Wadius, it is much needed. All right. Next up on the stream, I believe this actually may be the final drawing of the month, which is perfectly fine. And I believe that this request comes from none other than Yakisoba. It is good to see you again, Yakisoba. Yakisoba would like me to draw a nice Christmas picture, including you and some of your friends sitting around a Christmas tree opening gifts. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Well, isn't that sweet of you, Yakisoba? I'm sure I could pull something like that off, but, well, the one thing that I would need to think about very hard is the whole friends aspect. No matter, I'm sure I am able to pull that off. Except I have accidentally closed the chat and now I need to bring it back up. Wherever I can find it. There it is. I just need to bring this chat back up. There we are. And pop that out. And the chat is now popped. There we are. Alright. Yakisoba would like a picture of myself and my good friends around a Christmas tree opening presents and really soaking into the entire spirit of Christmas. Well, I'll see what I can do to that effect. First off, of course, we have myself. Or rather, we'll do my big brother first. I shall draw the characters a tad bit smaller, just because I think there will be many characters here in this one. So this one, my brother has just received his gift over there. That is my big brother. We have myself next to him, of course. And perhaps I've got a sake-shaped present, and it's all wrapped up, so it's like got this like really stupid wrapping paper. I already know what it is. If you're supposed to conceal a present, but the shape of the present gives it away, what's the point? Alright, we've got myself and my big brother. Well, this one goes without saying, but of course I must include my greatest friend of all time, Uncle Kage, of course. There we are. Uncle Kage. There we are. He's probably got a wine-shaped present over here, which again bears repeating that if you have a present in which the shape of the present gives it away, unless you are being coy and you like have a joke present, it's not really worth wrapping in the first place. There we are. And perhaps we'll have a couple more. Well, how could I forget one of the good friends that is always in attendance and always happens to, you know, create a couple memories of the stream, and that being Moth Monarch, the lovely artist that draws the stream. So we'll draw a Moth Monarch hanging off of, you know, my horn over here. There we are. That's Moth Monarch. I should put perhaps MM over here so people know that this is Moth Monarch. There we are. Moth Monarch is on my horn there. Who else that I should consider as a good friend? well, again, I have many friends, but I don't want to exclude one or the other. You know, there are certain ones that do definitely rank a little higher, but I don't want to make anyone feel particularly excluded from this. Well, perhaps I can do this. I can do what all the cool kids are doing. I can put a generic outline of a character here. There we are, and I can say YCH. There we are. We officially have a YCH drawing here. You can bid on this YCH later. 24-hour auction closes. There we are, YCH. So, we have, around this tree, we have my big brother, we have Moth Monarch, we have Uncle Kage, and we have your character here, which would translate to your character being there, whoever you are, wherever you may be. And again, it is not fair of me to try and include everyone in this photo because, well, I would not have enough paper space nor enough ink in this pen remaining in order to do so. But regardless, at the end of the day, I do want to know that each and every one of you I do cherish, and thank you for supporting this drag. We shall draw a Christmas tree in the background over here. Hopefully Moth doesn't get any ideas and start bashing her head into the light bulbs on it. There we are. We got the tinsel wrapping over here. There we are. And there's a fireplace over here, perhaps. There we are. Just some burning hot inferno fire. There we are. And perhaps we're sitting on, you know, a rug, just so we're not sitting on the dirty floor or something like that. There we are. We have a lovely holiday scene of friends gathered around the fire, gathered around the Christmas tree, and doing what they enjoy most, which is enjoying each other's company. The spirit of Christmas is not the spirit of giving, it's the spirit of caring for one another. So I shall say with this piece, Merry Christmas and seasons grumpings. There we are. Merry Christmas and Seasons Grumpings from all of us, including yourself with your character here. This is for Yakisoba. There we are. Thank you very kindly, Yakisoba. I do appreciate your generosity for the rest of these patrons as well. And the rest of the audience as well, for that fact. And with that, on that very, very high note, that concludes the drawings that we have for this month's Grumpystream, which means we've gotten that over. Now we can return to the main piece of this show, which really is just listening to me yap on and on and on about whatever it is you want me to yap about until I fall over or I cannot take any more. So we shall be right back as we switch over back to the main camera. And we are back to the main camera. And I am not sure how I have not finished that bottle yet. I thought I had drank enough of that kitty piss to have emptied it, but, well, you might be able to see that there's still a substantial amount left, and I'm not letting this go to waste. Not after, one, I have put it in this lovely bottle-sized glass, and two, well, I hate to admit it, but this kitty piss tastes good. Oh, and I've gotten myself a nice, long, fabulously pink straw as well to go with it as well. So we shall see how far we keep on going. Cheers to you all again, for those still out there with me, and I hope that so far your evening has been pleasant. Ah, goodness gracious. Ah, let it be known that kitty piss actually tastes decent after you've had enough of it. As you could probably say about most things that you would ingest, but at the same time I would rather not ask what things people ingest. You mean the youngsters these days, they have very, very weird tastes. I would rather not even dare begin to explore. Ah, well, goodness, good. Glad that the heat has been turned down in my den as well. I am also aided again by the invisible easy cool down vest. As you can see, dragons do not usually wear clothing because we don't need to, but I am also wearing an invisible vest known as the easy cool down vest, and it helps me cool down indeed, and it also helps my chest look that much bigger and broader, and it makes me look 1,000 years younger, which means that I like it. Not because it actually is practical, but because it makes me look that much more appealing. For myself, mostly, not for others. And Mio Van Me says, Tien Long, would you mind to ask Zeke if he comes over to EF also? Well, Mio Van Me, I'm not sure if he's able to even understand the language over at Eurofurence. I know that many of you speak English over there, but Zeke speaks Hyena, and Hyena is a rather difficult language to process. It takes not only the linguistic skills, being able to speak it, but it also takes the sort of personality to understand it. You have to be of the same personality as a hyena in order to understand a hyena talk. Otherwise, it just sounds like hyperactive words and sounds coming out of his mouth, and you have no idea what it means. But I shall see if I could perhaps get my human helper to bring Zeke over next year to your friends. I think that he would enjoy it immensely. And, well, since you're asking me, Ovani, do you think that your friends would like to see Zeke Hyena there? I do know for a fact that there is a related creature that will be in Denmark very soon, actually. For the same creator of Zeke Hyena actually just created a suit for a Denmark fursuiter by the name of Bellissenum Wolf. Bellissenum Wolf is a very floofy white Arctic wolf, and he will be at Eurofurence next year with his suit as well. So perhaps if he can convince Zeke to come, well, you might get what you wish for. Undertaker 666 says, that picture behind the tree. What, do you mean that one? Yes, that's my bot. That's the god of the vault. His name is Bob. That is a very, very long-standing friend of mine. He has very faithfully defended the vault of my wine cellars for a long time with moderate success. I won't say he's been perfect, but at least he's willing to do the job for how little that I pay him. And Diokami, hello Diokami, it's good to see you. How are you, Tien? I am doing positively swell, thank you very much, Diokami, and it's no thanks to this kitty piss that I am drinking right now. I hope that you have been well as well, and I hope that you weren't late to my Grumpystream. And Silver Gatomon says, I would like to know the actual name of that sake. I want to get a bottle because cat. Well, if you insist, this is the bottle of Tate no Kawa cat, also known as the Tatenya something bottle. I actually don't know where I put the bottle just now. It is the Tate no Kawa cat sake. I'm sure if you search that up, Silver Gatomon, you will be able to find it. Tate, T-A-T-E, no, K-A-W-A. Tate no Kawa cat sake. You shall be able to find it, and, well, if you enjoy drinking kitty piss, I won't judge you. I'm certainly not judging myself, because this tastes far too good for me to judge anything right now. Case in point. Anyhow. Tony Ringtail's here. Hello, Tony. And Tony says, kitty butt. No, Tony, we have not seen any kitten's butts, and we shall not anytime soon. It is very rude to insinuate a kitten would show its butt at you for your entertainment. And let me see. Annalicia Welsh says, well, I think that dragons are awesome. Well, I think so too, Annalicia. I'm glad that you have the same tenured and refined tastes that I do. And Yakisoba says, would be weird to be laid to your stream. To be laid to my stream? Well, Yakisoba, if I were to be laid on my stream, well, you mean late? Oh, late. Not laid on my stream. You got my hopes up there for a moment. Well, it's not like anyone would ever, but you know, dragons can dream as well. Not only humans, dragons can dream. And let me see what else. Wolf Brave says, there goes Tien. Well, Wolf Brave, you should know at this point that when a dragon is enjoying his evening ablutions, or his evening libations, rather, sometimes we tend to let go a little more than we should. It's not as if we are trying to be, you know, all unpresentable and all, you know, harm and sup and low, but we just simply need to decompress after having to deal with children all week long. What else is happening over here? And Bruzo Dragonia says, I'm curious. I am thinking about commissioning your pet for a picture of us sparring each other for my birthday. Is he open? Well, Bruzo, get in touch with my pet whenever you're available. He is available to be pinged on Twitter at Ronnie Noodles, and he shall hopefully respond to you in a fair amount of time. Right now, during the Christmas season, he does have some obligations to finish, which means that he most likely will not be open for commissions until perhaps around January time, but I'm sure that if you ping him around then, that he would be more than happy to talk about it with you. Furry Trainer says, Tien Long, next weekend I will be drinking the Psi 39. You are going to be drinking the Psi 39? Hello, my dear. Where are you drinking the Psi 39? I promise I won't join you and perhaps share the Psi 39 with you and share more than the Psi. Never have. An old dragon can dream. Don't get me started. It was your fault you mentioned the Psi. And let me see. Altorius says, I wish I could suit as my dragon self more often, but my suit is pretty old, unfortunately. Altorius, if you say your suit is pretty old, what does that make me? I'll let you ponder on that for a moment, because if I'm out here and I'm yapping and I'm rambling and I'm an old dragon myself, then you have absolutely no excuse whatsoever not to be a dragon yourself. And let me see what else others are saying. Altorius says, so been getting... Oh, well, Altorius says, in continuation, so been getting more my croc on with my crocosaur Samson. Oh, well, a croc, you say. I know a couple of crocs. They're good people indeed. And Mightier777 says, I wish I was a dragon sometimes. Why don't you wish you were a dragon all the time, Mightier? It is much better to be a dragon than it is to be anything else, and I am not biased when I say that. How much of my drink do I have left? Not a terrible amount. It is still fair, but it is good to keep me going for at least the next little while. Again, cheers to all of you out there. As I look back at this year and all that I have done, which is admittedly not too much, I mean, as the years pass by, it's not as if there are things that I do that are novel or brand new. I simply try to improve upon what already exists. And I think that perhaps in the past year's time I have tried to do so, whether it is imparting advice onto youngsters such as I have done tonight and on other streams before, or even just helping in the background for those of you that have seen something that has happened at a convention that you would like fixed and I have played a part in helping to address. Well, I hope that I have been able to make a positive impact on this year and leading into the next. For those of you that do not know, I do also help sometimes in the background at some conventions such as Anthrocon, and well, if you enjoy your experiences at such events and at such gatherings, especially of large volume like those conventions, I do hope that you at least take some time out of your day to thank those around you that are helping to put on the shows. One thing that, for me, I find as a personal pet peeve, so to say, is a lot of the unsung heroes in the furry fandom just simply remain unsung heroes. It does not take a simple single person to put on what we love in terms of conventions or events. It takes multiple people. It takes an army for these conventions to happen, for anything that is worth keeping around, anything that leaves a legacy. And one thing that I have noticed, especially increasingly in this year, is that we're more interested as a community in looking at what's wrong, what's negative, what is bad, rather than praising what is good, what is positive, what lifts our community up. And I would rather much see that as an old dragon, aging and irritable as I am. I would much rather see as a community that we lift each other up, rather than tear each other down and try to always focus on, expunging all of the bad actors and all of the children that are not worth our time. Long story short. So next time you go to one of these events, next time you go to one of these conventions, next time you see someone or hear of something that is worthy of praise for contributing to the community, for making the entire furry fandom as a whole a better place, whether for yourself or for someone you know, do take your time out of the day to appreciate them. However it may be that you wish, just take some time to appreciate them. We all run off of each other's support, our communal culture, where we have each other, and essentially that's it. We have each other. There's nothing else that holds us together at the end of the day other than each other. But that won't last very long if we just continue to focus on things that are negative, things that tear our community apart. We have to keep each other by helping one another. And that also includes appreciating what people do so that you can have a better time in our community. And I hope carrying forward into the new year and many, many years ahead that we can all do that. Well, whatever it is that you would do in order to appreciate others, I for one thank you for supporting what I do. So again, I raise my glass to all of you out there, and wherever you head off to, whatever you do in the community, do appreciate each other, look out for each other, and make sure that you make each other know that you are valued, that you are cared for, and that we want to see you again. I'm sorry, what was I talking about? Oh, well, onwards with the Grumpystream. I don't know why I get into these kind of tangents. Perhaps it comes with the age, or perhaps it comes with seeing all these damn kids running around having absolutely no idea what it takes in order to build a community up. And Yoshiko's Raptoridus says, oh, the Greek Yoshi is here. Greek Yoshi has finally arrived. Greek Yoshi, you do realize that others were asking about you earlier, do you not? Where have you been, can I ask? Arabian Darkstone. And Arabian Darkstone has also arrived as well. Arabian Darkstone, I have not seen you for some time. Where have you been? He says, I forgot how happy he is when he's sucking a bottle. I was not sucking a bottle. I was sucking a glass that holds a bottle in it. There is a difference. Trust me, I know. Mm, mm. Ah, nah. See, there's a difference. Because if it was a bottle, I would have finished it. Ah. Undertaker 666 asks, Tien Long, what is your fave book? Oh, wow, that is a very loaded question, Undertaker. I am a celestial that has read many a book in my time. After all, I am very, very, very old, and back in my day, we did not have things such as the interwebs or the YouTubes or the book faces or the Twitters or the telegrams. We had absolutely none of this. We had books, we had scripture, we had anthologies, we had, codexes, we had all of these ancient manuscripts that, that told us things that we could barely even wrap our minds about, that shared and held the secrets of the universe. But none of them were any fun, if that's what you were trying to ask. None of them were any fun because they were all about learning and all about teaching and all about, oh, this and that, and Confucius said you eat rice and you get fat. None of this stuff was actually interesting to me, you see. I may happen to be an old dragon that has many, many thousands of years of experience under his waist, but I do also like to have some fun. And it wasn't really until this most recent century that I really started to see that sort of fun. In particular, I actually, believe it or not, I actually quite enjoy the Redwall series of books most often because, well, if you are not familiar with the Redwall series of books, they are a series written by the late Brian Jakes. May his soul rest in many inner pieces, but Brian Jakes, a man who had a seemingly infinite wealth of knowledge, and basically he brung many, many different characters and personalities to life with his storytelling and his ability to use the same world, the world of Redwall, and continue to grow it over and over and over again. And that is one thing that I find particularly admirable, is that you take something that already exists, something that is already great in its own original concept, and you make it even better by expanding upon that world. That is something that very, very few authors can do. And in particular, if we're talking about books that I find absolutely fascinating and fun and smart at the same time, I find that Brian Jakes' Redwall series stands out amongst the rest of the pile. So if you're talking about my favorite book or series of books, I would wholeheartedly vouch for that. Let us see what else all of the youngsters are saying. Yoshikos Raptoridis says, speaking of bacon, Tien does look like a bacon with nacho cheese. Yoshikos Raptoridis, Greek Yoshi, I almost liked it when you weren't here saying such things. Now I feel quite self-conscious about myself because if you're saying that I'm a piece of bacon, that means that other youngsters would see me as a delectable piece of meat that they'd want to consume. And that's not exactly the route of thinking that I would want them to take. Arabian Darkstone says that he actually called me furry before I knew what a furry was. Arabian Darkstone, I think that you have pretty much hit it on the head, where Brian Jakes, again, his soul may rest in many inner pieces, but Brian Jakes essentially called all of those that read his books into his world. It wasn't just that you were the reader reading something that existed. It was you were being transported through a magical portal and put into the body of someone who was living in Redwall. Someone that could have been as simple as a mousewife. You see what I did there? Not a housewife, a mousewife. All right, can you now hear me? Oh, wow, that is rather loud. All right, let's see if that works a little bit better. Ah, I think that I changed the microphone input just now, so you should be able to hear me from my webcam now. The Yeti microphone, the big alkali dildo microphone over at the side over there, unfortunately does not work as well. I don't know why. Something has seemed to come up with it that it does not want to properly respond to me. Oh, and Altorio says, "Ow, my ears, we hear you." There we go. Sound is back, and a heart from Yoshiko's Raptoris. Ah, all right, well, I shall assume that we are back. Apologies for that little lapse. I don't know if you all heard that little rant I just went on. I'm not going to repeat myself again. I said something very philosophical, and I have not yet had enough to drink in order to repeat it. So I shall do just that. There we are. Cheers to all of you out there. Mm, 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 mm. No. All right, I'm not sure what happened there. Again, the Yeti microphone, which I usually use in order to capture my sound, somehow went kaput. German efficiency is not with that Yeti microphone, so we shall try to figure out what happened afterwards. Ah. Onyx Flame says every stream in the last 4 months of people who had a Yeti microphone has had it break down midstream. Well, Onyx Flame, I hope you are not insinuating that I have been the cause of these breakdowns, because as I have known, Uncle Kage, who has not made any noise this stream whatsoever, Uncle Kage himself has had many, many issues with his microphone over the past 4 months. And I have no idea what he has been doing with his stream or how he has been un-Asianing it, but when I am at his place next week, I am not inclined to be Asianing it for him unless he makes it worth my while. Ah. And Tony Ringtail says, "Oh, no kitty crotch shot." No, Tony, you didn't see any such thing as a kitty crotch shot. You get that mind out of your thought, you. You get that thought out of your mind, you. Ah. And Megalomaniac TF2 says, "Oh, hello. Oh, hello, Megalomaniac. It is good to see you." And Tien Long says, "It's in the name. Yetis have been sneaking around and suplexing all the microphones in the middle of streams." I agree. I concur and agree with that explanation, Big Brother. Thank you for being the wise one of this stream. I concur and agree, and that is fact. You shall write that in the next celestial decree, you. Arabian Darkstone says, "I blame Alkali." Yes, as do I, because Yeti microphones and Alkali do not have a good relationship. For when you are as loud as Alkali Bismuth is, I don't really think a microphone is needed. You can literally just yell at a computer monitor and everyone would be able to hear what you are saying regardless whether there was sound or not. Alkali Bismuth is a force to be reckoned with. That is the very least I can say about such a man with such a presence. For example, if you were at IFC or if you were at MCFC and you have seen him on stage, whether at Whose Line Is It Anyways or Charity Hour, this man single-handedly has blown all the decibels off of the meters of all of the AV equipment. I don't know how he does it whatsoever, and it frankly scares me. Let's see what else is happening. Coyote Preds G says, "Pause and crotch shots, oh my, LOL. Many exclamation marks." Thank you very much for your input, Coyote Preds. Very much appreciated. And Wadia says, "I wonder when Kage will spill wine on his couch." Spelled with an H. Well, I don't know if he spills wine with an H on his couch so much as he does on his audience, but if he's spilling wine without an H on his couch, I'll be sure to suck it off. Thank you very much. Ah. And Arabian Darkstone says, so back to books. What are your thoughts on Rucus? Well, Arabian Darkstone, I will tell you very honestly that I do not have any experience with Rucus other than that their art is quite good. That is all I can really say about that. Let me see. Onyx Flame says, I'm not saying you're breaking them. I'm saying that it seems that all Yeti microphones are cursed to break in the winter. Also, I am Asian, Welsh, something, something, something. You are Asian and Welsh, apparently, Onyx Flame, which means that you have the hardest accent to digest for any human's ears, if you are both Asian and you are Welsh. Let's see what else others are saying. And Tony Ringtail says they became overpowered by the kitty crutch. Tony Ringtail, get your mind out of the gutter, you. Let's see what time it is right now. We still have a little bit to go, and we still have, goodness gracious, we still have that much to go in the bottle. I did not know that kitties pissed that much in their bottles. I mean, if this was one kitty's piss, I did not want to imagine what the other's one would be like. Mm, 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 mm. Ah, ah. And Mio Van Me says, Alkali's voice is kind of tool of his trade since it is very handy to be so loud. Mio Van Me, I could not agree more. After all, for those of you that do not know Alkali Bismuth is a giant of a man, first of all. He is like 8 foot 26 inches tall, and he is like 500 kilograms big, which is appropriate of a giant, and he sounds like one as well. He is a professional stock trader, which means that all day long his job is to yell, and not only yell at his colleagues, but yell at his clients as well. So basically, his profession is to yell a lot, which is why he is so good at doing it. And Undertaker 666 asks, Tien Long, do you know of any good vampire books? Undertaker, I do not, unfortunately, for that is not exactly my thing. Vampires for me have always been a concept that, well, it's simply absurd. You know, creepy old guy comes and seduces a young body and bites into their neck, and this sounds very similar to Uncle Kage, and oh my goodness, now that I'm thinking about it, Uncle Kage is a vampire, and whoa. Uncle Kage is a vampire. I just realized. Oh, goodness gracious. I better watch myself when I'm around. Oh, wait, no. I'm not a young body. I'm old as well. Okay, I'm safe. When I visit Uncle Kage again next week, I shall be all right, because I'm not young anymore. He ain't gonna bite into my neck. I wish he would. But anyhow. Uh, and my big brother says it's a giant kitty piss. I don't know what kind of giant kitties you're talking about, big brother. Maybe it was from Bow Mao, your cat, but I would rather not know how it got all the way to Canada from Singapore while so fresh. And let me see. Megalomaniac says, hey, I like that fursuit. I need a custom one of my own. How do I make one? Megalomaniac, there are many ways that one may acquire their own character. The one easiest thing to do is to find a professional maker, a professional studio. There are many around. If you just search up professional fursuit studio or professional fursuit maker, you are more than likely to find one on the internet. They are more than happy to take your quote and give you a quote in terms of what character you describe to them, and they will be able to make one perhaps within a year's time or so, perhaps longer if they are high in demand. To make one is an entirely different thing. It is very, very difficult to do and takes years of practice. So unless you are a very skilled maker, well, the easiest route is usually to scout out a professional fursuit maker. Let me see. Wolf Brave says cockroach vampire. Yes, exactly. A cockroach vampire, which makes it even more dangerous because cockroaches do not die. Even though they may be handed die very often, they simply do not die because they find the next young body they come across and they bite into it and suck the life out of it, and therefore they gain immortality. Ah. And Yoshiko's Raptorus says, does Kage make the OWO shape on his face when he does that? You know, Greek Yoshi, I would be able to answer that if he would do it to me. Moving right along. And my big brother says, I will suck out your blood. Yes, big brother, you will suck up my blood, but after you chop these lettuces. Ah. And Mightier777 says, cockroach vampire, that sounds creepy. You know, Halloween is only 10 months away. Perhaps I can pitch this to the old man and see if he would be willing to be a cockroach vampire one year. Let us see. Mio Van Me says the difference between Kage and Dracula is that Dracula travels in a coffin, Kage is a vampire would choose a wine barrel. That is also very true, Mio Van Me. After all, Kage does like traveling in style. And I think the kind of barrel that he would be traveling in would probably come from the Mosel Valley in Germany, no longer than 3 years aged. Because, well, I mean, white wine is not necessarily aged, so that would not make a lot of sense. But regardless, I think that he'd probably travel in a wine barrel. And Mightier777 says, Might and vampires don't die easy, so that must mean cockroach vampires are immortal. Pretty much so, Mightier, pretty much so. Let's see how much of this I've got left. I've got about perhaps 2 good tasting worth full of this kitty piss left, and once I have finished off this kitty piss, I think I shall also call it a stream as well. I mean, now that I think about it in hindsight, I should not be so ungrateful for such a gift. After all, it is simply just a non-insulting, innocent reference for when Boozy Badger's youngest badge aunt, their youngest child, had referred to me accidentally as a kitten. And since then, it has become a thing for whatever reason people would want it to become a thing. I mean, dragons do behave like cats 3 days of the week and no more. But it is not necessarily indicative of what a dragon actually is. I mean, after all, we could say that humans, we could say that even dogs sometimes act like cats. We all share very common personalities. It does not mean I am necessarily a cat, and just because I'm drinking this kitty piss does not mean I'm turning more into a cat. It just simply means that kitty piss apparently tastes very, very good and very, very much like Junmai Daigindro sake, which it most certainly is not, but it tastes like it, and because I am cheap, I'm not going to complain otherwise. So, I shall toast you all and say, regardless whatever creature you identify with, just remember that kitty piss does not taste as bad as it sounds. Alright, let us see what else is happening over here. Ace Maddox says, oh, but you're a nice kitty, Tien. Ace, what did I just say? I do not identify as a kitty. I am very much a celestial dragon through and through, 100% locally grown, free-range, GMO-free, steroid-free, fair-traded celestial dragon. Thank you very much. And Megalomaniac has to depart. Well, thank you very much, Megalomaniac, for joining. Ah. And Varys the dragon says, I don't behave like a cat, I behave like a dragon 7 days of the week. Well, Varys, us dragons, unfortunately, we like to think we do, but studies have shown that dragons actually display cat-like tendencies 3 days of the week. Which 3 days of the week we do not know because it just happens. We wake up and it just happens. We assume cat mode and we just go around behaving more like cats than dragons, and it shows very, very clearly for others, but not ourselves, unfortunately. So in terms of that argument, I have tried to argue for we are dragons 7 days a week, but studies have shown that dragons are more cat-like 3 days of the week. Dakio says, you're not going to pass out again, are ya? Dakio, do I look like a dragon that is prone to passing out? You offend me very much. Oh, was I still on camera? Oh, yes, I was. I was still on camera. Ah, people were talking, and what was happening? Oh, people were saying things. Tien Long asks on Exclaim, have you ever had a penguin bar? I don't think I've ever had a penguin bar. I'm very interested to know what a penguin bar is. And Furry Trainer would like me to know that tonight you are drinking Dr. Lawson. Well, Furry Trainer, next time you are drinking Dr. Lawson, please do let me know. I would very much like to join you for a glass or 10. I do know that you like bringing Dr. Lawson to the conventions where both Kage and I are at. And the next one that we will be at, which I believe you shall be as well, is Motor City FurCon. I'll just leave it at that, thank you. All right, let us see what else is happening. Vadia says, Wednesdays I wake up, I eat, and I go back to sleep after work is done. Vadius, that is a cat day. Thank you very much. So you have basically proven that the studies have shown that dragons are cats 3 out of 7 days of the week. We just don't know when. And my big brother says, my brother is passed out. My big brother, do I look like I'm passed out? I was simply pandering to the crowd. Big brother, you are the one that should be worried because if I recall correctly, you're the one that gets winded quite easily when you're in contact with alcohol. After all, that one night at Anthrocon, you wanted so much more of that Desai sake and you ended up blacking out on bed afterwards. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. And Furry Trainer says, oh, not Furry Trainer, Silver Gatomon says, speaking of kitty piss, did you know that there is a soda that's named Kitty Piddle? Silver Gatomon, I don't know why you would be knowledgeable about such things, and I have many questions for you if such. Undertaker 666 asks, how do I like my eggs? I like them over easy, thank you very much. So I know that they're not completely raw and disgusting, but I also know that they're not too fried that they feel like I'm eating rubber. And Annalicia Welsh says, are you okay? Tien Long the mother hen kicked in. Don't worry, Annalicia, I am perfectly fine. And Onyx Flame asks or says there's a bunch of penguin bars in the package to Uncle Kage on the backs of penguin bar wrappers. There's some punny jokes. So in that case, Onyx Flame, you are preparing me for what I may encounter next week when we do enjoy these penguin bars on the stream. Well, in that case, I appreciate your forewarning, and I shall look out for these punny jokes so I may ready some dad jokes in the meantime. Let us see how much we have left in this bottle over here. We have a good sip and a half, perhaps. I shall move along with this bottle a little bit faster, just because I don't want to let this get lukewarm. Sake, when it's lukewarm, is... I mean, hot sake is one thing. Lukewarm sake... Again, cheers to you all out there. Mm, 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 mm. Good grief. That bottle does not go down as quickly as I thought it would. Goodness gracious. Perhaps I might need to take a double. Yes, perhaps I should take a double. Yes, double because I insisted so. Cheers to you all. Mm, 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 mm. There we are. Tony Ringtail says, I think Tien Long needs a good brushing. Any kitty groomers around here? Tony Ringtail, kitty groomers dare not. I shall leave it at that. They dare not. Onyx Flame says, some of the jokes make you facepalm. Onyx Flame, those are the type of jokes that, well, if I were to be honest, those are the ones that I save for Uncle Kage, because they are the ones that would make him facepalm while I just snicker and giggle at him because he can't handle being a dad and hearing dad jokes regurgitated at him. And my big brother says, just like my lukewarm coffee earlier, oof. My big brother, I don't know why you got such coffee, but I think you need to go out later and get a little bit more. While you're at it, big brother, be sure to get some fried chicken and best noodle as well. Make sure that they are well cooked so that you enjoy the maximum taste. And Nustul says sakegasm. Now, Nustul, I don't know what you are insinuating or what you're accusing me of, but I did not have a sakegasm just now. What I had was a sake appreciation. I appreciated it with my mouth, and just my mouth alone, and I had sucked in all the liquid it had to offer to me. And let me see. Undertaker says, I would love to give Tien Long a good brushing. You dare not. Moving along. And Greek Yoshi says, pleasure moans with a X face and a closed bracket. Greek Yoshi, I don't know what language you're speaking, but this is not a coding class. Please do not write in such code. Farius the Dragon says, if I offer dinner for Tien, will he accept? It depends on what is dinner, Vadius. I do not know exactly what I want each and every night. I am more of a spontaneous dinner sort of person. I do not like planned dinners because we all know at furry conventions, for those that have been, that if you try to plan a dinner at a curry convention, did I almost say curry convention? Furry convention, not at a curry convention. If you planned at a curry convention, you'd already have dinner in front of you. But if you were planning a dinner at a furry convention, then it would take 2 hours to gather the group that you wanted to go with, 2 hours to get where you wanted to go to, and 2 hours to simply wait for your meal. Curry convention. How would I even think of saying curry convention? Bah. And now everyone is saying a curry convention sounds delicious. A curry convention sounds good. Now you've got me craving curry, thanks to all of you. Now I want to have some curry, and I am now tempted to call this stream over, or at least bring it to an end, because now I want curry. And you can't blame me, because I am a dragon with an insatiable appetite, particularly for fine sake, and now you've all mentioned curry, which would go very, very well with a sake. I have nobody to blame but this audience over here. You made me do it. Whoever you are, you're watching, you made me do it. Now I want curry because of you. Mm, 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 mm. Ah, even the taste of sake won't curb the craving for curry right now. Now I have this insatiable desire for like the most delicious curry that there is available. I'm not sure what kind of curry there is available that may be within my reach, but curry nonetheless, a curry convention. Perhaps that is what we need instead of furry conventions. Perhaps we need curry conventions. We should propose that instead of a new furry convention, we have a curry convention. That instead of fursuits, we bring cur suits so we can have, costumes that you can just eat up and lick whenever you felt hungry and you would have curry flavor in your mouth all the time. That is a rather dangerous concept now that I think about it. Goodness gracious, what led me onto this train of thought? We are not, never mind, we are not having cur suits, we're not having curry conventions. This will not work, ladies and gentlemen. Ignore everything I have just mentioned. We are not having a curry convention. I might order some curry after this, though, mind you. Ah, let us see. And Yoshiko's Raptor says currywurst meat poms. Yes, currywurst with poms, which are like pom-poms. I mean, I only know poms as in apples in French, but currywurst, which you can get in Germany, is basically wurst sausages with curry. And oh my goodness, are they a treat! I had the pleasure of having a currywurst when I was at Eurofurence. I had currywursts in both Berlin as well as Munich. I had it in both Berlin and Bavarian country, and my goodness, the currywursts were absolutely delightful. I wish that we would bring currywursts over to this side of the pond, and well, I would be eating currywursts all day long if that were the case. Ah. Furry Trainer says, Tien Long, I have wrapped Christmas gifts, drank wine, and enjoyed your stream. Good night until next weekend, my friends. Furry Trainer, thank you very much for joining us, and I shall see you next Saturday when both Uncle Kage and myself will be talking about nonsense that we have been talking about all night long. Ah. What else are the audience saying? Silver Gatomon says, lamb is so good with mint. Silver Gatomon, I don't know if lamb is good with lint. Did I just have another slip again? Lamb is good with mint, not with lint. Lint is an entirely different matter, but lamb is good with mint is something that I have not tried before, but lamb curry is one that I would happily eat all day long. Ah. Oh, and Indigo to you says Pommes are French fries in German. Ah, that's why. Yes, Deutsche, the language of the Deutsche. Yes, Currywurst mit Pommes. Yes, French fries in Germany. Big brother, you heard that? French fries. You have to get the order of French fries going. Quick, big brother, go and chop the potatoes and put them in the fryer. Go. Ah. And Greek Yoshi says, unfortunately, spicy curry makes sweat smelly. Well, unfortunately, sweat is smelly regardless, Greek Yoshi. I don't know which world you live in where sweat is not smelly. But yes, I mean, curry does make sweat a little bit more intolerable than it is. I will say that perhaps a couple people in the fursuit lounge at Eurofurence might be eating a little bit too much currywurst with that thought in mind. I mean, you can't really do anything about it. It's your ferns and it's the fursuit lounge. Let's just leave it at that. Undertaker 666 says curry is furry and merry. I don't know why I bothered reading that comment, but Curry is not furry and it is not Murray. Curry is curry, thank you very much. I'd rather not find hairballs nor an invitation to like an NSFW chat in my curry, thank you very much. I like my curry as just curry. I do not want my curry furry, nor do I want my curry Murray. And I don't want my furry to be curry, I don't want my furry to be Murray. Did that make sense? I don't know. At this point, I'm not quite sure what makes sense or not, but I do not want curry in my furry nor in my Murray. Thank you very much. Moving right along. And Diokami says, I hope to have Tien's gift ready for Christmas. Diokami, you do not have to get me anything for Christmas. I am far too flattered that anyone wants to get me anything for Christmas whatsoever. I am simply just a dragon. I am just an old-aged, irritable, always talking, never stopping dragon. You do not need to get me anything for Christmas whatsoever. I require nothing for Christmas. Matter of fact, I have everything that I need, whether it be the sake that I am drinking, whether it be the roof that I am under, whether it be the audience that is watching right now. I have everything that I need for Christmas. I simply enjoy having you here, my greatest Christmas present, and my present throughout the year, not just for Christmas, but my present all throughout the year is having you join me on these evenings. Whatever it is that you were doing, what you were planning to do, but you chose to be here with me, that is my present. That is all I ever ask for. And if you choose to do anything extra, as long as it is not paining you, as long as it is not making you work harder than you already do, that is all that I ask for. And for that I am always and eternally thankful for. And Silver Gatomon says, I tried bear for the first time yesterday. Those were some good meatballs. Wait. Hold on. Monocle stare. I tried bear for the first time yesterday. Those were some good meat. Silver Gatomon, how could you consume a poor innocent bear? How dare you, Silver Gatomon? Those poor innocent bears, what did they ever do to you? Hmm. Anyhow, let us see what else is going on. Well, what is going on? Well, what is going on right now is I have far too much sake that is still left in this. This right here is about a single sip's worth. So once I finish this single sip, that means that this stream shall also be finished. So to all of you out there that are still here with me, I raise my glass to you. Cheers, and I hope that you have yourself a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, I'm still on camera, aren't I? Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, am I still on camera? Oh, yes, I am. Oh, goodness. you must, you must forgive me for that lapse in time just now. Um, you see, the kitty piss has some properties which make one rather not quite where I am right now. Anyhow, moving right along. Ah. And Undertaker still says he is dreaming of Furry Murray Curry. We will not have any sort of product next year that will come out calling itself Furry Murray Curry. I would rather not know where that came from, nor would I want to know how that was made and how it was referenced from. Thank you very much. I mean, if Furry Murray Curry was inspired by the smells that you have in the elevators of furry conventions, then I would rather not know. Thank you very much. Ah, let me see. And Onyx Flame asks, did you have a cat nap? No, Onyx Flame, that was not a cat nap. That was a sake intermission. Yes, that was a sake intermission. Thank you very much. And Silver Gatomon says, that was one of, if not the biggest laughs I've had in months. Thank you for that. Well, Silver Gatomon, that is why you are here, and that is why I am here. I am glad that I have you with me on this stream, as with every single one of you. I am very glad that you are here with me on this final stream of this year, 2018. This year has seen a lot. We have done a lot. We have complained about a lot, although I know I've been doing the most complaining of them all. But at the same time, it is just another year. You will find that as time passes, years become days, days become minutes, minutes become flashes, so to say. And before you know it, time has passed. Time has moved without you realizing. The world around you has moved forward, and you have a choice of either moving with it or you can stay stuck in the past. And one of the many pitfalls that celestial dragons have, and not just celestial dragons, but celestials as a whole, is that we tend to stay in the past. We tend to stick with what we know, with the routine, with the regular. And we forget that all around us, down below on this earth, everything is moving, everything is progressing. Time waits for no man, it waits for no celestial, it waits for no dragon. So with that movement comes a choice. Do we stay as we are? Do we continue existing as we've always been? Or do we try and move with it and move in a direction that is beneficial for not only ourselves, but those around us and everyone in the world that we know of? That is a choice that we make each and every day. Whether we stay in the same moment that we've always stayed in, or whether or not we continue moving forward, doing things that would better ourselves and the world around us. That is a question that I believe everyone must ponder each and every day. I don't know how that thought got into my mind, but, well, again, we are here. You are watching an old celestial dragon talk about things that he most likely would not talk about without the aid of said kitty piss. I hate to say it like that. It is not kitty piss. Kitty piss is such a demeaning term. I mean, after all, this is a Junmai Daiginjo sake that has been brewed in September of this year. Think about it. Brewed in September of this year. I mean, in that time frame, a kitten could not have even been conceived, right? That is like, oh, this is like brand spanking new. Like, oh my goodness, this is exquisite. And I will tell you right now, my friends, that this kitty piss I have never enjoyed as much as I have before. Don't ask about before, because I won't tell you. So cheers to all of you out there. And I will tell you again that you can choose to either stay where you are in life, or you can choose to move forward and move with the rest of the world and be a part of the change that makes the world a better place. Cheers to you all. Mm, 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 mm. Ah, well, would you look at that? I have successfully finished the entire bottle of kitty piss. Let it be known that on this day Tien Long finished an entire bottle of kitty piss, and he did not pass out in any way, shape, or form. But, my eyelids feel quite heavy. Let's lay back here. All right, to see. All right, to see one moment. One moment. Oh, goodness, was I still on stream? Now, one moment, one moment. There, now we're back in action. There we are. We had a quick system update up in here, if you know what I'm talking about. We had that weird system update that comes when you're not expecting it. All right, here we are. Undertaker 666 says, Tien Long, you need some curry. I concur and agree. I would like some curry right now, and I don't know where I am going to find some. So, you know what? To be quite honest with you all, after this stream, I am most probably going to find some curry. And if I can't find some curry, I'm going to try and make some curry, darn it. Diokami says, Chen sleeps with his eyes open. Diokami, as you may know, you don't want to let your enemy sneak up on you, so, well, you want to make sure that you're always aware of where your enemies are. Snazzy Fly says, check his pulse, then his sake. I think, Snazzy, you might have to check the other way around. You might want to check my sake and then my pulse, because more than likely the first will be null and the other will be quite high. Let me see. And Onyx Flame says, did you have a nice two-min dragon recharging meditation? I don't know what you're talking about, Onyx Flame. I was just simply observing and analyzing the different tasting notes of that sake as it processed through my system. Altorio says, Tien, I think it's time to stop. Well, Altorio, as you can see, as I grab my bottle-sized glass, as you can see, Altorio, there is nothing left in here. Which means that when there's nothing left in here, there's nothing left in here. my friends, if you have not heard it enough already, as I have, at least I think I have, said many times in the past before, I simply enjoy having all of you here with me, keeping me company. But when that company expires, or that company says that I have expired, then that means that I am no longer able to perform at the quality in which I hope to. And that does not necessarily mean that I am a bad performer, which I would hate to think I am, but that seems to mean that it is time to end the show. And with that note, regardless whether or not you have found some entertainment, found some wisdom, or anything in between with this stream, I hope that it was worth you tuning into, and that you have found something that you can take away with you this evening, this morning, this afternoon, if it is for you right now, and that you can walk forward with in life, and perhaps apply to the things that you hold dearest, whether it is the furry fandom, whether it is your family, your friends, your loved ones. After all, I am simply but an old-aged dragon. I have only the knowledge and advice that I have experienced in thousands of years of existence to offer. And I hope that in some capacity that is worth something to you. And it is worth teaching to those that are around you, those that are not able to join us tonight. But with you being here, hopefully that message is able to be transferred to them in some degree of capacity. And with that, well, because my glass is empty, and because most likely your patience has already ended, I hope that you have learned something tonight that you have been able to enjoy and able to share with others. This is, unfortunately, the last Grumpy stream of this year, and I have not quite planned when the next one will be. After all, next year I shall be beginning the year strong with a trip to California. Again, I shall be at Further Confusion. I shall hopefully be at First Squared. I shall be at Vernal Equinox, I shall be at Motor City FurCon, and I shall be at Anthrocon. That should cover the first half of 2019 in terms of the appearances that I may make. And at any of those, if you should be at, I do hope to make your acquaintance, and if you ever so should seek the advice of an old, aged, experienced celestial dragon, you know where to find me. But until then, I do hope that you have enjoyed yourself tonight. I hope that I have imparted some sort of entertainment or wisdom upon you. And until we meet again, I hope that your travels will be safe, will be smooth, and you will find your destination wherever it may be. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you all. And I wish all of you a good night. If I can press this damn stop stream button, goodness darn it, who made this kitty piss that I could not press this stop stream? Go to bed.